Chapter 1021. Lin Feng defying the skies. Lin Feng was sensing the force of the earth and sky. They were all hanging on there firmly. They couldn't afford being careless, otherwise, they would be crushed under the pressure. "Moron, you can't move any further, go back now," said Yang Zilan coldly. Then he continued walking up, step by step. He had to stop after each step. "You go first," said Lin Feng to Chiu Yuexin. She nodded and continued going up. She stopped after each step too. She couldn't afford being careless. All the geniuses from the prestigious families have continued to go up. The crowd was amazed. Those people were getting closer and closer to reaching Xian Yuan's record. However, the weakest were probably stuck now. They couldn't go back or forward. Rumbling sounds spread in the air each time they moved up. Finally, 4 of them stopped on the 9th step of the 4th group of steps. They didn't look relaxed at all. Yang Zilan turned around and coldly looked at Lin Feng. "Poor you, you're going to be propelled away, even though you came so far." However, at that moment, Lin Feng smiled mockingly, and it was a huge smile. Lin Feng moved and continued going up. He looked absolutely relaxed, as if he was walking in normal conditions. The crowd couldn't believe it. Lin Feng just walked up to the 9th step of the 4th group, leaving them all dumbstruck. "How's that possible? We don't even know him," thought the crowd. Yang Zilan seemed like he had reached his limits, and Lin Feng had done the same as him, but in a more relaxed way. "Are you satisfied now?" said Lin Feng indifferently. Yang Zilan looked to suffer more from seeing Lin Feng succeed than from the force of the flight of stairs. He felt weak. "Hee, who's joining me higher up?" said Meng Ba with a resplendent smile. The others' faces twitched. Meng Ba wanted to continue? Did he really want to do the same as Meng Ba? "You should set reasonable goals. If we can't reach the last step of the 5th group, we'll lose everything. It's better to stop here," said Yang Zilan indifferently. Lin Ruotian remained silent for a few seconds and tried to put a foot on the next step. However, he immediately took it back. "Nah, I'm not going," said Lin Ruotian indifferently. "Hee, since you're not coming, I'll continue. I'm having fun with this," said Meng Ba. "Arg." Meng Ba's clothes were suddenly ripped apart. He groaned as he sensed the incredible force crushing his flesh. He felt like he was going to be crushed. Veins appeared all over his body. Boom boom. Explosion sounds spread in the air. Some of his veins actually broke and blood appeared. He looked like a violent injured beast had attacked him. "Arg." Meng Ba groaned loudly with pain and continued walking up. It was as if his feet were millions of kilos. He reached the 9th step of the 5th group and grabbed a blue key, then he instantly disappeared. Meng Ba managed to finish the 5th group of steps. The crowd was gasping with amazement. Lin Ruotian and Yang Zilan's eyes were twinkling as well. "He's much stronger than you," said Lin Feng to Yang Zilan. "Shut the hell up. You're just lucky to be here. You're a tiny little insect." Yang Zilan snapped back. Lin Feng smiled and released blood strength as well as pure qi. He also started circulating his strength of the Haruka and the Buddha to flow through his body. He then started walking up the 5th group of steps. People were wondering what he was doing. Chiu Yuexin was gasping with amazement. Lin Feng would go farther than her. Boom boom. When Lin Feng set a foot on the 5th group of steps, he sensed that the energies there were much more terrifying, but he could still handle them. He stopped for a few seconds, he looked relaxed, he turned around and looked at Yang Zilan. "An insect is standing above you. How do you feel?" Lin Feng mocked him calmly. However, people's thoughts were racing. How did he feel? Nobody knew how Yang Zilan felt at that moment. Was he still confident? "If I'm an insect, you're even less than an insect." Lin Feng's words were penetrating deep into Yang Zilan's heart. He was less valuable than an insect? Boom boom. Lin Feng's voice kept piercing through Yang Zilan's eardrums as well as the sound Lin Feng's steps made as he went higher up. Lin Feng then arrived on the 9th step of the 5th group of steps. There was the blue key floating there. Astonishing, wouldn't have thought that guy would do as good as Xian Yuan and Meng Ba, thought the crowd. Lin Feng had done what Xian Yuan did. Yang Zilan was clenching his fists. He felt humiliated. We'll see each other in Tiantai in a few seconds, said Chiu Xn smiling. Lin Feng shook his head. Chiu Xn didn't understand. Lin Feng continued, when Xian Yuan arrived here, he said nobody could go further. Even though he is incredibly strong, he was wrong. What? Did Lin Feng want to surpass Xian Yuan? Go and die, said Yang Zilan mockingly. Shut up, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He then said coldly, you're a weakling and a coward, you're lower than me, so don't even talk to me. Yang Zilan was furious. Insects give up easily and are not aware of their own strength. Meng Ba decided to climb the 5th group of steps because he loves challenges. It was challenging for him to get the blue key. Now, I'll go even higher. That's my challenge, said Lin Feng, making people feel vehement. Then Lin Feng took another step. Boom boom. An incredible force appeared around Lin Feng. His hair was fluttering in the wind. It seemed like he was facing a hurricane. Was he going to fall down? Real cultivators don't give up. Real cultivators don't care about material things. They challenge the earth and sky. We know human and earth fusion. I understand the force of the earth and sky. How could the sky be stronger than me? Said Lin Feng, looking at the sky. Die. He looked like he was in a trance. It was an extraordinary scene. Chapter 1022. The Force of the Sky. If the sky challenges me, then I accept the challenge. That stranger was insane. His voice was piercing through people's eardrums. They had the feeling they were listening to a madman. Chiu Xn was clenching her fists. She was proud. Lin Feng was a real cultivator. He was determined. Yang Zilan and all the other members of the Yang clan pulled long faces. They despised people like Lin Feng, but he had surpassed them, and even Xian Yuan. Lin Feng looked at the sky and groaned loudly. His strength of the Haruka, pure qi and intent were flowing throughout his body. At the same time, he was holding his Tian Shen stone, sensing the force of the earth and sky. The earth and the sky seemed particularly clear and distinct to him. Boom! Lin Feng made another step and stopped for a second. Who had said Lin Feng was doomed? Boom boom! Another step. The scene looked incredible. People's hearts were pounding. Lin Feng was defying the skies. Boom boom boom, one step, another step. Lin Feng arrived on the 9th step of the 6th group of steps. There was a light blue key that Lin Feng could take and he would immediately be transferred to Tiantai. Phew, people took a deep breath. What was Lin Feng going to do? The sadhu had told everyone the keys were better at higher levels. If Lin Feng took that light blue key, he would probably have an insane advantage, or at least, what he would get would be better than with the blue key. Chiu Xn smiled in a resplendent way. She was so happy for Lin Feng and proud of him. Awesome! Take the key, said Chiu Xn with a magnificent smile. She was going to take the green key and Lin Feng the light blue key. She was happy for him. His success was her happiness. See you in Tiantai in a few seconds, shouted Chiu Xn. However, Lin Feng didn't react. Lin Feng slowly shook his head, which made her heart race again. What was Lin Feng going to do? I am not done, said Lin Feng. His voice was hoarse and deep. Could he go higher? He had already surpassed Xian Yuan. Why did he want to continue? Did he really want to defy the skies? Lin Feng, whispered Chiu Xn. She didn't know what to say. Lin Feng raised his head and looked at the skies. His words about what being a real cultivator meant were echoing in her brain. You can do it, said Chiu Xn suddenly with a resplendent smile. She felt good. Lin Feng made her feel happy. You're a real cultivator. As a cultivator, you accepted to defy the laws of the earth and sky. If you fail, it doesn't matter because what you did is incredible already. And if you fail, then I don't care. I won't go to Tiantai and I'll stay with you. What? The crowd was dumbstruck. What? Who was that guy for Chiu Xn? Yang Zilan was astonished. Since he had seen Lin Feng, he wondered who he was. Chiu Xn was the beautiful cold-hearted woman of Ba Huang province. She had fallen in love with Lin Feng, and because Lin Feng had died, she had tried to kill Chiu Lin, Chiu Mei, and even him, Yang Zilan. He had heard a lot about Chiu Xn's personality. She was stubborn. At that moment, Yang Zilon was fixedly staring at Lin Feng. His eyes were twinkling. When the Yang clan went to the Chou clan to seek revenge, it was a disaster for the Chou clan. However, until the very last minute, they denied flatly that the guy who had appeared was a member of their clan. Whispered Yang Zilon. He had a strange feeling. "You're Lin Feng, you're not dead," shouted Yang Zilon suddenly. Chiu Yu Xian was surprised. Lin Feng. The crowd was astonished. Wasn't Lin Feng dead? Chiu Yu Xian had fallen in love with Lin Feng and now she had come with a guy and they seemed too close. Everybody started staring at Lin Feng with more scrutiny. People were speechless. "You're not as stupid as I thought," said Lin Feng at that moment. He raised his hand, put it on his face and took off his mask. He looked younger and even more handsome now. "Lin Feng," said Yang Zilon coldly. The crowd was astonished. Lin Feng hadn't died. Chiu Yu Xian's boyfriend was there. Even though his cultivation level was low, Lin Feng was a good match for Chiu Yu Xian because he was strong and determined. Because he was a real cultivator. "You're not dead. Was it you last time as well?" said Yang Zilon, thinking about the guy from the Chou clan who stole his boat. "Do you think I have a silver-winged spirit? I just used Chou Jun Luo's corpse. I took out his dead soul and used it to control him," said Lin Feng coldly. "You're evil. You're a demon," said Yang Zilon. He believed what Lin Feng said. Of course Lin Feng couldn't have the spirit of the Chou clan. So Lin Feng's explanation made sense. "Evil? I was nice to your clan and you humiliated me, you even tried to kill me. Now you keep insulting me, yet I'm evil?" said Lin Feng. He turned around and continued walking onto the 7th group of steps. People were in disbelief. "Real cultivators control the earth, not the opposite way around," whispered Lin Feng. He continued walking up. Arg, arg. It was as if the staircase was going to break and collapse. Boom boom. Lin Feng knelt down, his blood seemed like it was going to explode. "The earth and sky have force, cultivators can use force. I am a cultivator, therefore I can control the force of the earth and sky." Lin Feng sounded determined. The force of the earth and sky was also something incredible and mysterious. Lin Feng put a hand on the step and slowly rose up again. Everybody could hear the strength, force and energies flowing throughout his body. Lin Feng was one with the earth and sky. Celestial forces, nature, immaterial world, selflessness. Nothing is impossible, there are no limits. Lin Feng was chanting a mantra. Cultivators can defy the laws of the earth and sky. I am a cultivator. Kacha. Lin Feng was standing fast and was surrounded by a cloud of force. He could use the force of the earth and sky. Cultivators can defy the laws of the earth and sky. I am a cultivator. Lin Feng looked at the sky and a hurricane appeared around him. It was composed of the force of the earth and sky. It wasn't attacking Lin Feng was using it. Boom! Lin Feng continued going up. His pure qi was becoming stronger as well. Lin Feng was becoming stronger. Chapter 1023, 9th Group of Steps. How incredible! The crowd was astonished. Lin Feng could use the force of the earth and sky to an incredible degree. He was becoming stronger even and his pure qi was becoming stronger too. Boom boom! Another series of loud sounds spread in the air, but Lin Feng kept climbing the stairs. The force of the staircase wasn't oppressing him anymore, it was actually helping him. What is going on? How's that even possible? Yang Ziyi was fixedly staring at Lin Feng. She couldn't believe her eyes. She had thought that Lin Feng saved her because he wanted to have sex with her as Yang Zilon had told her. She hadn't defended Lin Feng when Yang Zilon said he wanted Lin Feng to die. They had humiliated Lin Feng over and over again. Now, Lin Feng was the real hero of the event. Her future husband, Xian Yuan, said he would rank first amongst Tian-level cultivators, but Lin Feng had already beaten him. Lin Feng was enjoying a landslide victory. He hadn't surpassed Xian Yuan by a little bit either. He was already on the 7th group of steps and wasn't stopping. Besides, the force of the staircase was not hindering him anymore. Lin Feng was using it to progress. His cultivation level was increasing thanks to his incredible understanding. Boom boom. Lin Feng continued. The force was penetrating into his body. It was as if he was absorbing a lake of force. Boom. Lin Feng released an incredible qi. His qi was now different. It had the strength of the fourth Tian qi layer. Incredible. Lin Feng was really becoming stronger on that staircase. What? He broke through to the fourth Tian qi layer. How incredible. Astonishing. The crowd was astonished. That way too incredible. Lin Feng was becoming stronger during the exam. He would be difficult to defeat in the future. The sadhu was in the sky, smiling with satisfaction as we watched Lin Feng. Lin Feng was incredible. He was so young but already so strong. No wonder his fellow disciples liked him. Lin Feng was going up, step by step. After breaking through to the fourth Tian qi layer, he continued. Lin Feng didn't stop. He arrived on the last step of the seventh group and stopped. What will he do now? Thought the crowd. This time, nobody thought he would stop. Everybody thought he was going to continue. Everybody was fixedly staring at Lin Feng, wondering what he was going to do. They hoped he would continue. I accepted the challenge of the earth and sky, and I became stronger. A real cultivator remains determined and doesn't give up. If the earth and sky want a war, then I accept, said Lin Feng with a serious and solemn smile. He looked like an enlightened being. He then stepped onto the first step of the eighth group of steps. Boom! The earth and sky turned into a gigantic hand which fell down from the sky. Lin Feng groaned and blood splashed out of his mouth. He managed to keep his balance, but he had bruises all over his body. Of course, he had broken through to the fourth Tian qi layer, so his corporeal body had become even stronger. Lin Feng's gums and teeth were soaked with blood, but he was still smiling. Lin Feng looked at the sky and said, "You stepped on me but I felt nothing." Boom boom boom. Lin Feng condensed more strength and continued. At the same time he continued studying the force of the earth and the sky. If the sky can't defeat him, who can? Thought many people in the crowd. They felt like they were dreaming. They would have never thought that anyone would manage to do what Lin Feng had now done. He's going higher up. People were petrified, excited. It was incredible. They were already speechless when Lin Feng had started walking onto the sixth group of steps. Now he had reached the eighth one. Lin Feng didn't stop. Nobody and nothing could stop him. Maybe he would succeed, maybe he would fail, but in any case, he had this accomplishment. Do you think he'll try to step onto the ninth one as well? Said some people. He's up there. Lin Feng arrived on the ninth step of the eighth group of steps. People were speechless. Nobody could believe their eyes. He was way more incredible than Shen Yuan. There was a white jade key floating in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng just had to take the white jade key and he would be able to go to Tiantai with an incredible gift. The crowd was holding their breath. What was he going to do? They all looked at the ninth group of steps. Was he going to try? If Lin Feng failed there, he wouldn't have a second chance. That would also be the end for him. He would never become an imperial cultivation disciple. It was too dangerous. It was better to stop. Do you want to try? The sadhu asked. People were surprised. The master was talking to Lin Feng. Think carefully. If you fail and can't stand it, you'll lose everything, said the sadhu. Lin Feng nodded. He obviously understood. I'll try though, said Lin Feng. The sadhu smiled and nodded. I won't prevent you from trying. Will he be able to endure it? Thought the crowd. What was going to happen? Lin Feng raised his head. He looked solemn and respectful. Lin Feng started. People's hearts were racing. Gotcha! And then it was as if their hearts stopped. They were watching Lin Feng, fixedly and breathlessly and motionlessly. Lin Feng put a foot on the first step of the ninth group of steps, but there was absolutely no strength or force. Lin Feng walked up easily. What's going on? How was that possible? How come it looked so easy? Master! Lin Feng turned around and looked at the sadhu. There was nothing on the last group of steps. You did it. Congratulations. You can take the Imperial Zun key. Congratulations again. That is the symbol of your glory, said the sadhu slowly. The crowd was astonished. The last group of steps was a symbol of glory, it was just symbolic. Imperial Zun Qi. Chapter 1024. In Tiantai, it was a symbol. The crowd looked at Lin Feng with the highest respect. People had come from everywhere for Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's recruitment process. There were many geniuses from everywhere in the province and even from abroad. Most of those strong cultivators had only managed to climb up to the third group of steps. Very few had managed to climb the fourth one, and only 2 had managed to climb the fifth one. Meng Ba and Xian Yuan. Only one person had managed to surpass them, and that someone wasn't very famous. That young man had climbed the 9 last groups of steps fearlessly. That young man was Lin Feng. People had heard about Lin Feng before, first because he had rescued Yang Ziyi and had been humiliated by them. Then, because Qiu Yu Xian had fallen in love with him. However, this time, everybody would remember Lin Feng as the man who climbed the 9 last groups of steps at Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's recruitment process. When Lin Feng heard the sadhu, he smiled and bowed. It was pure luck. I wasn't sure I could do it. You relied on your corporeal strength, your indomitable determination, your strong analytical and understanding abilities, and you were fearless. That is not luck. You are the true master of your destiny. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Tiantai, said the sadhu, smiling. Okay. Lin Feng nodded. He turned around and smiled at Yang Zilan. Yang Zilan had the impression that Lin Feng was making fun of him, and that annoyed him. Yuexin, see you in Tiantai in a few seconds, said Lin Feng, smiling at Qiu Yuexin. She was also smiling in a resplendent way. Lin Feng had managed to climb all the stairs. The news would spread quickly in Tianjing City. Even the Qiu clan would respect him. Lin Feng slowly turned around. He looked at the golden imperial Zun Qi. According to the sadhu, that was the best key. What advantage would he get with it? Lin Feng grabbed the key, golden lights surrounded his body, and in a flash, he appeared somewhere else. It was a vast area filled with people. Lin Feng turned around and walked towards the edge of the place. The sadhu was sitting cross-legged in the sky, and there were the stairs down there. Lin Feng turned around and gazed into the distance. There were incredible palaces. The qi there was pure and celestial. It was similar to the qi in the Jade Emperor's room in his palace. Tiantai, an imperial place, whispered Lin Feng. Tiantai was a small world, and the emperors were granting access to those who could climb the stairs. They opened the doors to Tiantai only to recruit imperial cultivation disciples. The people around Lin Feng had managed to make it there because they had obtained a key. Everyone was calm. Nobody could cause trouble in Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's territory. They all calmly waited for the exam to start. But at that moment, Lin Feng realized that there was something wrong. Everybody was staring at him. He was standing higher than everyone else, as if he was their leader. 2 other people were close to Lin Feng, but lower than him, Xian Yuan and Meng Ba. Just under them, there weren't too many people, Qiu Yu Xian, Lin Rua Tian, Yang Zilan. The lower, the more people there were. It's like a podium, thought Lin Feng. Besides, Lin Feng found out that there were only Tian-level cultivators there. Zun cultivators had probably ended up in another place. It's so cold, thought Lin Feng. Meng Ba and Xian Yuan were surprised to see Lin Feng there. Xian Yuan looked furious. What was going on? How was that even possible? He had climbed up 5 groups of steps, had obtained a blue key, and had said nobody could surpass him. After that, many people had joined him in Tiantai, and they were all lower than him. However, in the end, Meng Ba appeared next to him. If only one person could do the same as he had done, fine, no problem. But someone had done better than him? That made him furious. You, said Xian Yuan. He remembered Lin Feng, the guy in the dragon palace with his beast. He had stolen treasures. Good to see you again, said Lin Feng, smiling at Xian Yuan. I wouldn't have thought that you'd managed to climb 6 groups of steps. In the dragon palace, you had only broken through to the 2nd Tianqi layer, but now you've broken through to the 4th Tianqi layer. What treasures did you get there? Asked Xian Yuan coldly. Had Lin Feng climbed only 6 groups of steps? And had he obtained treasures in the dragon palace which helped him become this strong? Who told you I climbed up 6 groups of steps? said Lin Feng with a cold smile. Concerning the treasures I obtained in the Dragon Palace, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. I don't trust you anyways. Xian Yuan groaned coldly. But it doesn't matter. No matter what you obtained, I'll steal your treasures for myself. You're just a nobody in my eyes. Xian Yuan then suddenly released ice-cold energies and stood up. He wanted to attack Lin Feng. Lay down, shouted an overwhelming voice at that moment. He raised his head and saw someone in the sky. He suddenly looked scared. It was Ho Qinglin. He had already humiliated Xian Yuan back in Black Crow Village. You better not cause trouble here in Tiantai. And who do you think you are to insult other people? Said Ho Qinglin. I am Xian Yuan and I have imperial blood. Even if you don't like me, there's no need to insult me. Said Xian Yuan proudly. I don't care who your ancestors are or what your blood is like. All I know is that you climbed up 5 groups of steps and he climbed up 9. So who do you think you are to insult him? Said Ho Qinglin coldly. Xian Yuan looked dumbstruck. 9 groups of steps? He was dazed. Not only him, everybody else. Someone had managed to climb up 9 groups of steps? Maybe you enjoy humiliating people who have a lower cultivation level than yours. Well, in my eyes, you're nothing. You're much weaker than me, said Ho Qinglin. Chapter 1025. 81 Palaces. Xian Yuan was scared because he had infuriated Ho Qinglin. Someday, he would replace Ho Qinglin and become the emperor's direct disciple. Then he would trample on Ho Qinglin. Ho Qinglin saw Xian Yuan looking at him with hatred and said coldly, anyways, we will quickly find out who's an insect and who's not. I am in charge of the recruitment process and I will give you all opportunities to show everyone else why you're so proud. He's in charge? The crowd was surprised. The emperors weren't in charge of the recruitment process. They had delegated that responsibility to their closest disciples. I can't wait, said Xian Yuan sarcastically. Ho Qinglin didn't look at him again. He turned around and closed his eyes waiting for the first part of the exam to finish. A few more people arrived in Tiantai. However, nobody went further than the 4th group of steps. Brother, said the sadhu in the distance. Ho Qinglin understood and said, the first part of the exam is finished. The staircase is now closed. You can congratulate the victors. I understand, said the sadhu nodding. He looked at the crowd. Even though there were many people, only 81 would be chosen in the end. Good luck, said the sadhu smiling at the crowd. He then turned around. Ho Qinglin looked at the crowd and said, everyone here still has a chance to become an imperial cultivation disciple, said Ho Qinglin. Everybody was confused. Everyone? Hadn't they said that those who took the first key could only watch? This time, 81 Tian level cultivators will be selected, but it is only the first batch. Those who took a key in the staircase can practice cultivation in Tiantai. You have 100 days to practice. Then, the recruitment process will resume. It also gives you time to think, explained Ho Qinglin. The crowd was amazed. Many people were happy though. All those who had managed to climb up the staircase were very strong. That's what it took. Even those who had failed this time would be able to try again in the future. Many people were happy to stay in Tiantai and practice cultivation. Also, a vast majority of those who had managed to climb up the 2nd group of steps and above will be eliminated later and won't be able to become imperial cultivation disciples this time, but you can stay here and practice cultivation. You'll have the opportunity to apply again for the 2nd batch, explained Ho Qinglin. Those people weren't so happy though. They weren't the same as those who had managed to only climb the 1st group of steps. After all, they had shown how strong they were. They found that unfair. There were many proud people from rich families amongst them, and they didn't want to be considered as losers or to become ordinary imperial cultivation disciples. Those who climbed up the 2nd staircase and above, follow me, said Ho Qinglin. He turned around and gazed into the distance. People slowly stood up and followed him. What was the next exam? Ho Qinglin wasn't walking fast. Considering his cultivation level, he was walking extremely slowly. But Tiantai was a holy place, so they had to walk slowly, mindfully, and respectfully. The qi here is extraordinary. Who lives in those palaces? said some people looking at the palaces around them. The people from just a moment ago and those who get eliminated for now, said Ho Ching Lin when he heard those people. If you become Imperial Cultivation disciples and practice cultivation in Tiantai, those palaces will be yours forever, 1 palace per person. 1 palace per person. The crowd was astonished. Even the most ordinary Imperial Cultivation disciples could have their own palace. How incredible was that? Even Lin Feng was excited. In 100 days, the staircase between Tianjing City and Tiantai will open. People from Tianjing City will be able to see the Imperial Cultivation disciples and Tiantai will become their holy place, said Ho Ching Lin. He felt proud to have such great teachers. Tianjing City was the biggest city in the northern part of Ba Huang Province. Tianjing City would become a great city after the opening of the staircase. Even though Ho Ching Lin didn't seek glory, he still felt proud and honored to have such wonderful teachers. The big group walked through the palaces. There was an enchanting mist lying above the ground. Then, some special palaces appeared in their field of visions. Those palaces looked like celestial illusions. Can you see them? Said Ho Ching Lin pointing at some of the palaces. They looked far and close at the same time. Master, who lives there? Asked someone. There are 81 palaces, replied Ho Ching Lin. People's eyes started twinkling. 81 Imperial Cultivation disciples were going to be selected this time, and there were 81 palaces. Those palaces are all different and the best of you will get the best palace, said Ho Ching Lin, awaking ardor in the candidates' hearts. Xian Yuan was convinced that he was going to rank first and could already see himself in the best palace. Many people looked at him with hatred when they saw his eyes twinkle. During the first part of the exam, you obtained keys, and there were 9 different keys. Those keys will have an impact on your ranking, said Ho Ching Lin. Surprisingly, that was the purpose of those keys. Well then, since Lin Feng had obtained the best key, was he going to rank first and obtain the best palace? Xian Yuan looked at Lin Feng with murder in his eyes. Not only him, but many other people. Especially those who only managed to climb the 4th group of steps. They wanted to prevent Lin Feng from becoming an Imperial Cultivation disciple and obtaining the best palace. Lin Feng was speechless. Was he going to rank first? Lin Feng smiled wryly. He didn't really understand what Ho Ching Lin meant. Ho Ching Lin had helped him a few times in the past. He even humiliated Xian Yuan because of him. My venerable teachers built those palaces, so respect them, said Ho Ching Lin, smiling. Everybody looked terribly excited. Chapter 10:26. New ways of using his spirit. Then, Ho Ching Lin walked to the left. We're here, said Ho Ching Lin. He then opened the door to a palace. Everybody was curious. They wanted to see what it looked like inside the palace and also what kind of exam they were going to sit. The palace was brightly lit. Everybody gradually trickled in. People's eyes twinkled. There were drawings and paintings everywhere. There were picture scrolls as well. They all looked extraordinary. Come in everyone, said Ho Ching Lin. Everybody looked around. We often come here to practice as Imperial Cultivation disciples. We come here to study special and mysterious powers. We drew those paintings, drawings and marks. I'll let you study the holy marks in this palace. Everybody was incredulous. Ho Ching Lin and his fellow disciples had drawn those marks. No wonder they looked extraordinary. Ho Ching Lin was extremely strong. Those marks probably contained incredible powers. You have 2 hours to study, so don't waste time and study as much as you can. To benefit the most from it, your thoughts have to be pure. Remember what I said. Ho Ching Lin said to the crowd. Everybody nodded. One more thing, no fighting can happen during these 2 hours. Only studying is allowed. After that, you'll have opportunities to battle each other. If someone disobeys, I'll throw them off the top of Tiantai. After that, he left the palace. They all had 2 hours to study. After that, we'll be able to battle, thought the crowd. Those who were weak were a bit scared. Fighting would be difficult for them. Chiu Yuexin walked to Lin Feng and asked, Lin Feng, what do you think he meant? Lin Feng shook his head. Ho Ching Lin is a wise man. Everything he does is meaningful and he won't lie. We just have to listen to him, that's all. We have to study those marks for 2 hours and we'll become stronger. Alright, you're right, I think. Even though Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu assigned the recruitment process task to their direct disciples, they probably aren't completely free. They probably have to follow some instructions. Said Qiu Yuxian nodding. Go and find the marks you understand the best. After that, we don't know what will happen. Let's just listen to Ho Qing Lin. Said Lin Feng looking at the mysterious marks on the walls. Very quickly, his attention was drawn to some specific marks. They were very easy to understand. It looked like some instructions. Lin Feng looked at them and touched them with his finger. He could sense some strength. It seemed like it was empty space strength. That's it. Lin Feng continued moving his finger over the marks and nodded at Qiu Yuxian. I like sword cultivation and empty space spells. It contains sharp sword energies and empty space strength. It seems like these marks are the most suitable for me, thought Lin Feng. He then started practicing cultivation. He sat down cross-legged and started meditating. The insect passed the first part of the exam because he was lucky and now chooses the easiest marks to understand. Useless, said a voice mockingly. Yang Zilan wasn't far from him. According to Yang Zilan, the marks Lin Feng had chosen were too easy. However, it was very powerful. Yang Zilan thought they were too easy because he had lots of similar ones in his clan. Pure luck, said Lin Feng with an indifferent smile. Then, he stopped looking at Yang Zilan and continued practicing cultivation. Yang Zilan saw Lin Feng's smirk and looked at him in a disdainful way. Wait until we fight, I'll kill you then, thought Yan Zilan, thinking about the battles which would take place after the study session. That made him smile in a resplendent way. Lin Feng remained silent and studied. It was as if the world around him didn't exist anymore. Lin Feng could clearly sense the marks on the wall and he was trying to ingrain them in his head. He visualized the marks and sharp energies appeared. Empty space instructions. Lin Feng studied those marks and had the feeling he was going to enter an empty space. How strong, thought Lin Feng, delighted. It seemed like that space was real and that those marks were powerful. It seemed like he could kill people secretly from inside. Few Tian-level cultivators understood empty space spells. Lin Feng studied those marks further. The small world kept appearing in his brain. Even though Lin Feng understood things quickly, 2 hours weren't enough. He slowly opened his celestial book spirit and looked at the empty space world page. He slowly noted down the marks in his celestial book spirit. He drew them very clearly. Lin Feng suddenly realized he was using his celestial book spirit to write down marks. He had never used it for that purpose before. In the past, he used to think he could only use his celestial book spirit to study things like the Tian Shen stone or the demon seal stones, but now he realized he could also use it to write down marks. Maybe the mysterious marks would be easier to use in the future if he had them written down in his celestial book. Lin Feng studied the marks in his book. He was moving his fingers slowly, following the marks. They became much clearer. After an hour, Lin Feng stopped and smiled. My spirit is awesome, thought Lin Feng with a resplendent smile. Thanks to his celestial book spirit, he could study faster than probably anyone. He glanced at Yang Zilan, who was still practicing cultivation. The others as well. Lin Feng remembered Ho Qing Lin's words. I have time to study something else, thought Lin Feng with a magnificent smile. Chapter 1027. Who's an insect? He glanced at the marks and realized that no matter what, marks, prints, drawings, paintings, they were all exceptional. Ho Qing Lin and his disciples were real geniuses. How incredible! Those marks are pleasing to the eye and to the mind, sighed Lin Feng. Those marks were extraordinary. Lin Feng was excited and wanted to study them all. After that, Lin Feng sat down. This time, he didn't choose to study anything in particular. He released his celestial book spirit and chose to write down all the marks inside. New marks kept appearing in his book. Empty space marks, reincarnation marks, ancient Buddhist marks, godly awareness-related marks. Lin Feng was writing down everything. The emperor's direct disciples were really incredible. My spirit is incredible, thought Lin Feng. He was happy. He had never realized how powerful his book spirit was. He could use it to study demons' seal stone strength, mysterious holy marks, etc. It was like the ultimate notebook. Lin Feng was happy he could write down all the marks in that room. All those marks contain the force of the earth and sky. How powerful! Lin Feng sighed while staring at all those marks. However, voices interrupted Lin Feng. He was in a deep meditative state and hadn't realized how fast time had passed. Another hour had already passed. Everybody was chatting and surprisingly, you were still meditating, said Chiu Xin smiling at him. Lin Feng didn't know how long she had been next to him. He had forgotten about time. He hadn't even sensed that Yang Zilan and the others were staring at him too. I was gone indeed, said Lin Feng smiling wryly. He thought he'd have time to study another spell more in depth. Luckily, nobody attacked you here, thought Chiu Xin. Yang Zilan and the others were looking at him coldly. Many people who didn't even know him looked at him with hatred because he had managed to climb up the 9 groups of steps. They didn't want him to get the best palace. At that moment, Ho Qinglin came back. 2 hours passed, said Ho Qinglin before adding, I gave you 2 hours to study. Now, battles are going to start. You'll only be able to use the techniques and skills you studied here to fight. You can't use any other attacks, including your spirits. People were dumbfounded. Ho Qinglin was testing people based on their understanding abilities. I was born with my spirit, it's like my corporeal body, why can't I use it? Said someone. A spirit was part of a cultivator's body. Many rich and powerful cultivators relied mostly on their spirits. No matter how strong your spirit is, it is not always helpful. Think of the first part of the exam, on the stairs, your spirit was useless then. If you only rely on your spirit, you won't be able to study new things. People who do that can never become genuinely strong, they will never progress. Besides, it's a sign of laziness too. In Tiantai, we need polyvalent disciples, people who are interested in all aspects of cultivation. People who only use their spirit can't be considered geniuses. In my eyes, they're even worse than trash, said Ho Qinglin indifferently. Many people lowered their heads when they heard that. Some people had always relied on their spirit and now they regretted it. That wasn't beneficial to cultivators. Even worse, in Ho Qinglin's eyes, they were trash. Alright, now, choose an opponent you despise. If you defeat them using the skill you learnt, they will be eliminated, said Ho Qinglin indifferently. Many people were caught off guard. What about people who had a low cultivation level but were talented? Didn't Ho Qinglin care about them? Many people looked for the weakest opponents and smiled. They just had to defeat weak people and eliminate them. Yang Zilan and Yang Zi walked towards Lin Feng and Chiu Xin with cold smiles on their faces. It's fate after all. If you're weak, you'll be eliminated, said Yang Zilan to Lin Feng with a cold smile. Lin Feng was doomed. Imperial cultivation disciples were going to be selected according to their strength. He was impatient to see how Lin Feng, a cultivator of the 4th Tianqi layer, would fight against him. Did you all choose the opponents you despise the most? Asked Ho Qinglin. People nodded. Those who were strong had large smiles on their faces and said, yes, we did. Very good. Let's go into an empty space illusion, said Ho Qinglin with the resplendent smile of his own. He shook his hands and bright lights appeared which surrounded the crowd. People frowned. Their surroundings were changing and they were no longer in the palace. It was snowing there. Some people were on snowy mountains while others were on the ground, and some in the sky between the snowy mountains. We're in another place now, thought many people. Here, everybody will fight. Those who are defeated will appear outside the illusion. It will also mean that they're eliminated and won't become imperial cultivation disciples, said Ho Qinglin loudly. Everybody would die. Poor you, you're dead already, said Yang Zilan. Yang Ziyi, Jiang Ning and the others were also not far from them. Lin Feng and Chiu Xin were there too. I forgot to tell you something. Here, everybody has the same cultivation level. You all have the strength of the 1st Tianqi layer. These are perfect conditions to see who's really strong, said Ho Qinglin. Lin Feng smiled in a resplendent way. Yang Zilan and the others' facial expressions changed drastically. They were scared now. In fair conditions, Everybody had the same cultivation level. Who would be crushed like an insect now? Chapter 10:28. Trampling on a Genius. Remember what I said, you can only use what you studied in the palace to fight. You can't use anything else, including your spirit or blood strength. Otherwise, I will take you out myself, said Ho Ching Lin indifferently. Everybody started sensing their strength. As expected, they all had the strength of the first Tianqi layer. Ho Ching Lin made them enter a palace, practice a certain skill set, and then he had taken them to that world and restricted their strength to that of the first Tianqi layer. That was fair. Nobody could use their spirit, their blood strength or other spells. Ho Ching Lin was giving everybody the opportunity to fight a fair battle. Those who came from rich families had access to more things than others, so in real life, they had more chances to succeed. Here, everybody had the same chance to succeed. Sigh, people were upset. Ho Ching Lin's rules were very strict. Not using our spirit is fine, but what about blood strength? It's an integral part of our body. It is part of our flesh, why forbid us from using it? Said someone else. Not being able to use their blood strength, what an exaggerated rule. Use your self-confidence to fight. If you think you can despise other people, show them that you can really despise them. You all have the opportunity to prove to everyone else why you are so confident, said Ho Ching Lin indifferently. He then added, do you think my teachers, Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu, attach importance to such things? What they care about is the way you practice cultivation, your vision. Blood strength can be reconstructed, a spirit can be reborn. Blood strength can be reconstructed, a spirit can be reborn. The crowd was amazed. Emperors could give their disciples blood strength and spirits, that's why all they needed were disciples with a pure heart. People who were real cultivators, with strong understanding and analytical abilities. Of course, having a powerful blood and spirit was a plus. All right, let's start, said Ho Ching Lin. He rose higher up in the sky and looked at everyone to make sure everyone followed the rules. You're right, the recruitment process is fair. Insects will be crushed and eliminated, said Lin Feng to Yang Zilan. He then started walking towards him, with confidence and no hesitation at all. Lin Feng hated Yang Zilan. He wanted to get his revenge and teach the Yang clan a lesson. Lin Feng couldn't wait to become an imperial cultivation disciple. We just learned a skill. In front of me, you're still nothing, said Yang Zilan, releasing chi of the first Tianqi layer. In the palace, he studied a powerful punch attack. He hadn't understood everything though, 2 hours weren't enough. He understood the basics though. I will crush you today. I will show what it feels like to be an insect, said Lin Feng with a resplendent smile. He then threw himself at Yang Zilan. Yang Zilan raised his fists, pure and dazzling lights appeared. Splashing sounds could be heard because the chi was rolling in the air like waves. Water is pleasant to be in, but gigantic waves can easily kill people, said Yang Zilan coldly. The splashing sounds were becoming more violent. It seemed like nothing could block such waves. Die! Shouted Yang Zilan furiously. His waves turned into sharp energies and rolled in the air towards Lin Feng. Tasteless, thought Lin Feng when seeing Yang Zilan's attack. It didn't look great at all. Kaboom! Lin Feng punched the atmosphere in the direction of the waves. It contained the force of the earth and sky. It was simple but contained an incredible power and explosive force. The force of the earth and sky weren't like other types of strength, it was much more efficient if used properly. Yang Zilan pulled a long face. He was furious. He stopped attacking and ran. However, he found out that he wasn't as fast as usual. Lin Feng's punch reached him and he groaned with pain. Brother! Shouted Yang Ziyi. In the blink of an eye, Lin Feng was close again. I will show you how I crush insects. Boom boom. Lin Feng punched Yang Zilan again and blood splashed everywhere. Geniuses crush insects, said Lin Feng, jumping onto Yang Zilan's head. Everyone was astonished. Lin Feng was trampling Yang Zilan. Jiang Ning, attack! Shouted Yang Ziyi furiously. He immediately threw himself at Lin Feng. Die! Shouted Lin Feng furiously while punching again. He looked like a death god. Be! lights appeared and disappeared again. Jiang Ning didn't understand. Slash, slash. A terrifying energy crashed onto Jiang Ning's third eye and he turned deathly pale. It was a dazzling light. Slash. No surprise. In a flash, Jiang Ning disappeared. It was an illusion. People didn't die for real, but disappeared from that world instead. People who were defeated, like Jiang Ning, wouldn't become imperial cultivation disciples. They were simply eliminated. What a piece of trash. I've always wanted to crush him too. He's pathetic and ridiculous, said Lin Feng in a detached way. Yang Ziyi and the others pulled long faces. Boom boom. Lin Feng trampled on Yang Zilan's face again and blood continued to splash. The physical pain was nothing compared to the pain in his soul. Lin Feng was humiliating him, again. He wanted Lin Feng to die. Who's the insect? You tiny ant, said Lin Feng with a smile. He jumped on Yang Zilan's face again. Half his face was in the snow now. You look ridiculous. Boom boom. Yang Zilan disappeared in the snow and then Lin Feng moved aside looking expressionless. Chapter 1029. Fighting against Xian Yuan at that moment, many people were amazed. Lin Feng was a beast. He even humiliated the Yang clan. But in the illusion, battles were fair. And there, Lin Feng could defeat Yang Zilan without having to use any strength. That proved if they had been of the same cultivation level, Lin Feng would have easily crushed him in the outside world. Yang Zilan couldn't withstood a single attack. You called me an insect, what are you then? Asked Lin Feng proudly. Everybody attacked their enemy while shouting furiously. Some people wanted to get their revenge against those who called them insects. Boom! Yang Zilan came out of the ground and threw himself at Lin Feng again. Fuck off! Lin Feng punched him again. Yang Zilan crashed into the ground violently. Arg! Shouted Yang Zilan furiously. Lin Feng looked at him coldly and said, What? You'll never become an imperial cultivation disciple as long as I'm here. Boom boom! Lin Feng punched Yang Zilan's face again. Then, in the blink of an eye, Yang Zilan disappeared. Lin Feng had killed him, in the illusion at least. Yang Zilan wouldn't become an imperial cultivation disciple this time. You, said Yang Zi pulling a long face. She was fixedly staring at Lin Feng. Her brother, Yang Zilan, he wouldn't become an imperial cultivation disciple because of Lin Feng. Don't look at me like that. You guys are geniuses after all, said Lin Feng. He walked towards Yang Zi and said coldly, Yang Zi, I saved you when you were almost raped. I was polite. What did you do in exchange? You humiliated me and asked your clan to kill me. Yang Zi looked upset at that moment, but she remained silent. They hadn't expressed their gratitude to Lin Feng. In their eyes, Lin Feng was worthless. You think you are incredible, pure, powerful, rich, and that I am nothing. I took you home safe and sound. You even thought I had saved you because I thought you were hot and rich, but I just wanted to be friends. But you don't care about insects, even insects who save your life, said Lin Feng with a cold smile. Yang Zi really had those kinds of thoughts. Lin Feng understood her perfectly. They despised people who didn't have a social status as high as theirs. Do you think an insect like you can still reach the clouds? Said an ice-cold voice at that moment. Shen Yuan appeared next to Yang Zi. Yang Zi looked at him and smiled. She also took a deep breath of relief. Shen Yuan was famous in Ba Huang province because he had imperial blood. He was a real genius to boot. He wanted to defeat Lin Feng because he wanted to rank first amongst the Tian-level cultivators this time. I don't know about reaching the clouds, but at least I'll kick her out of here, said Lin Feng indifferently. Is that so? Show me then? You think that you're an overlord because you managed to climb up the 9 groups of steps, said Shen Yuan proudly. They were staring at each other and releasing their energies. BZZ. They both released incredible energies. Many people looked at them. One was Lin Feng, who had defied the skies and climbed up 9 groups of steps during the first part of the exam. The other one was Shen Yuan, a rich and powerful cultivator. That was the clash of the titans. Lin Feng looked like he was one with nature at that moment. His qi and the qi of the earth and sky were the same. Lin Feng can defy the skies and use the force of the earth and sky, thought the crowd looking at Lin Feng's pure qi. His qi was emitting whistling sounds now. Xian Yuan smiled coldly. He shook his hand and lights appeared. He was absorbing the strength of the earth and sky as well. Xian Yuan, imperial blood. The crowd was captivated. Lin Feng was using natural force, Xian Yuan was using some kind of strength and condensing it. Let's see if you can protect yourself, said Xian Yuan. He then suddenly started running towards Lin Feng with his fist raised. The atmosphere was shaking. Lin Feng looked at him and raised his fist too. He also started running towards him. Boom boom. A terrifying wind started blowing. It seemed like the space was going to explode. What a terrifying force. Even with the strength of the first Tianqi layer, they're still very strong, thought the crowd. Both were incredible cultivators. Not bad, but if you want to reach the clouds, it will be difficult with just that, said Xian Yuan with a cold smile. Both their fists collided. A beam of light appeared, along with roaring sounds. Boom boom. Lin Feng sensed the energies move towards him. They crashed onto him and he was propelled backwards. How impressive. Xian Yuan is really strong, Lin Feng surely can't compete with him, thought everyone. Lin Feng was talented, he had done better than everybody else during the first part of the exam, but Xian Yuan had imperial blood. Lin Feng couldn't withstand the first attack. When Yang Ziyi saw that, she smiled in a resplendent way. Xian Yuan was better than Lin Feng after all. At least, you managed to climb up the 9 groups of stairs, but now, you're going to be eliminated, said Xian Yuan coldly. He continued running towards Lin Feng while condensing energies in his fist. You're strong, said Lin Feng. With his imperial blood and many years of practice, Xian Yuan had, indeed, become strong. Phew, Lin Feng remained fearless and determined. He condensed force again and smiled. His fist was emitting crackling sounds. Die! Shouted Lin Feng furiously while throwing himself at Xian Yuan. Boom boom, explosions sounded. Not bad. Let's see how many attacks you can endure, said Xian Yuan. He raised his fists again. The qi of the earth and sky was still rolling in the air. They were both surrounded by terrifying energies. Even with the restriction on their cultivation level, they were still incredibly strong. Yang Zilan hoped that Lin Feng would lose fast. Surprisingly, he wasn't dead yet. Xian Yuan had imperial blood and had, in real life, broken through to the 7th Tianqi layer. Therefore, he was more experienced than Lin Feng and understood cultivation better than him. But even considering that, it still took him time to defeat Lin Feng. Chapter 1030, Equally Arrogant, Boom Boom. More explosion sounds invaded the atmosphere. The mountains around them exploded. Their clothes were fluttering in the whistling wind. All right, shouted Xian Yuan. He smiled and said, You're a good fighter. You also managed to climb up 9 groups of steps, however, I will still kill you. Xian Yuan sounded proud and arrogant. He slowly raised his fist. The wind around him was whistling as he absorbed the strength of the earth and sky and made it flow in his flesh. He was really talented. Xian Yuan's entire body started emitting dazzling lights. Because we can't use the skills and techniques we want, talent plays the biggest role. And I am more talented than you, said Xian Yuan proudly. He looked like he despised the whole world, as if nobody could have defeated him. You're much more talented than Yang Zilan, but you're as ignorant as him. He also thought nobody could defeat him, said Lin Feng while running forwards. In a flash, rumbling sounds shook the space. Lin Feng was surrounded by force, the natural force of the earth and sky. He was using the earth and sky as a weapon. How scary! He understands these forces so well. He's 5-6 times stronger than he should be, even with a restricted cultivation level, thought the crowd. What a pity that Lin Feng didn't come from a rich family. With such talent, he would have become incredibly strong. He would have become like Xian Yuan. I never lost against someone at the same level as me. You can't compete with me now, said Xian Yuan proudly and aggressively. Neither have I. I can easily defeat people like Yang Ziyi if they're of the same level as me. I can use the force of the earth and sky. shouted Lin Feng. Force rolled in the air and condensed in Lin Feng's body, then he threw himself at Xian Yuan. Die! Xian Yuan shouted furiously. Their fists collided again. The mountains around them turned to ashes. Arg! Boom boom boom. It was as if the sky was going to collapse. Many people had forgotten about their own fights at that moment. They were captivated by Lin Feng and Xian Yuan's battle. In such a short time, they had shown so much power. They did all they could to become imperial cultivation disciples. The crowd thought that no matter who won, both of them were geniuses. Unfortunately, one of them wouldn't become an imperial cultivation disciple. Alright, you can be proud of yourself because our fight is still equal. Luckily, you studied a new technique in the palace. I will show you what it's like to have incredible understanding abilities, said Xian Yuan smiling. He moved farther away from Lin Feng and raised his fist while condensing strength inside. How strong! Both studied for 2 hours, and Xian Yuan understood his technique way better than Yang Zilan. Thought the crowd. Xian Yuan, with the strength of the first Tianqi layer, was showing incredible power. Is that so? Show me then, said Lin Feng, who raised his fist too. He condensed more energies as well. What an explosive power, thought the crowd. They were shivering. Lin Feng had punched Jiang Ning and expelled him in the blink of an eye. I'll destroy you, shouted Xian Yuan furiously and punched the air in front of him. Bzz. The earth shook and Xian Yuan's fist disappeared in the air, but the strength was still palpable. Empty space fist. The crowd was astonished. Xian Yuan's fist had disappeared, but it was still there. At the same time, Lin Feng enveloped his finger with the force of the earth and sky. The crowd could sense the two fighters' energies. Bzz. His finger disappeared as well. Empty space finger. The crowd was astonished. Lin Feng had done the same as Xian Yuan. He had learnt an empty space technique too. Incredible. Bzz. Terrifying forces rolled in waves around them. Their attacks reappeared at the same time and more energies rose up in the sky. Two beasts, the crowd was more and more astonished. Those two cultivators were incredible. They also had a similar level of understanding. They were smarter than anyone else there, it seemed. It's alright, but I already know that. You're disappointing me, said Lin Feng in an indifferent way. Xian Yuan looked at Lin Feng coldly. He hadn't thought that Lin Feng was so strong. His cultivation level was higher than Lin Feng, so he should have understood the mysterious marks of the palace much better, but it wasn't the case. Lin Feng, with the strength of the fourth Tianqi layer, had understood those marks just as well as him. You have high understanding abilities. Unfortunately, you're not from a rich and noble family, so your blood and your spirit aren't as good. Otherwise, you'd be a real genius. If we could use all our powers, you'd have lost already. Many people could even defeat you easily. However, in front of me, you're still an insect, even if we both have the strength of the first Tianqi layer, said Xian Yuan. He appeared happy, but seemed to think that it was a pity that Lin Feng wasn't the member of a rich and noble family. Lin Feng's talent were wasted. Lin Feng looked at him and smiled. If I could use all my powers, I'd show you that your so-called talent is useless in front of me. You have nothing to be proud of. You practiced cultivation longer than me. If we had progressed in the same environment, I'd be much stronger than you. The crowd enjoyed listening to them talk. They were both proud. Lin Feng even said that Xian Yuan wasn't particularly good. I wonder how Lin Feng can act as arrogantly in front of Xian Yuan, thought the crowd. They had the feeling that Lin Feng was a bit too confident. Xian Yuan was incredible and had imperial blood. Once outside of the illusion, Xian Yuan could easily kill Lin Feng, especially with his blood strength and spirit. You're just showing off. Too bad we can't fight with our full power. I'd show you that you're ridiculous otherwise, said Xian Yuan coldly. Apart from bragging, what else can you do? Let's finish the battle, okay? Replied Lin Feng. In the air, Ho Qing Lin smiled when he heard them and said, since you're both so confident, I'll give you one chance. You can give it a try. Chapter 1031. Insane Battle? The crowd didn't understand. He was allowing Lin Feng and Xian Yuan to give it a try? Ho Qing Lin was allowing them to fight in normal conditions, But if one of them lost, wouldn't it be unfair? They wouldn't be able to become Imperial cultivation disciples. I allow you to fight in normal conditions. You can use anything you want. Of course, everybody saw how strong you both are, so I already consider that you both passed the exam. I suppose nobody has anything to say against that, said Ho Ching Lin, looking at the crowd. Everybody nodded. Of course they didn't mind. If Xian Yuan or Lin Feng stayed in the illusion and continued the exam, they would have the opportunity to fight against them too, and nobody wanted to fight against them. Alright, awesome. We can fight as we wish, said Xian Yuan, laughing. Lin Feng, I will give you an opportunity to show everyone your abilities. Ridiculous, said Lin Feng when he heard Xian Yuan making fun of him. He then said coldly, I will just show you that being arrogant is risky when one isn't strong enough. I can't believe you're so confident. We'll see, said Xian Yuan. He then started walking towards Lin Feng. An incredible strength started flowing in his hand. Even with the strength of the first Tianqi layer, it was incredible. Even with pure strength, I can defeat you, said Xian Yuan, walking towards Lin Feng. You're the only one who thinks that way, said Lin Feng while condensing blood strength. He also condensed pure qi, the strength of the Haruka and the Buddha. His different sorts of strength started flowing all throughout his body. Lin Feng then walked towards Xian Yuan, fearlessly. Die! Shouted Xian Yuan furiously while punching towards Lin Feng. None of them were flinching. Not bad. But, piss off now! Shouted Xian Yuan. In a flash, he released his strength. His hair started fluttering in the wind, and he looked insane. His punch was even more powerful than with the restrictions. Blood Qi! Lin Feng looked at him coldly. He also released his strength of the Haruka and circulated his blood inside his body. His fist looked like a dragon. Piss off! Shouted Xian Yuan furiously. His voice was scary and pierced through people's eardrums painfully. Both of them were propelled backwards. A distance of a few hundred meters appeared between them. The crowd didn't understand. Lin Feng's blood seemed powerful too. Xian Yuan didn't have the advantage. Xian Yuan was surprised too. He sensed Lin Feng's blood, it was quite strong. His facial expression changed. He thought he would crush Lin Feng in the blink of an eye with his blood strength, but things weren't happening that way. Even with his imperial blood, he didn't have the advantage. It seems like I need to use some special methods to gain the advantage, said Xian Yuan coldly. He moved his hands, as if he were dancing, and released an oppressive strength. Boom! Xian Yuan punched the atmosphere towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng sensed the oppressive strength. He felt like he was going to kneel down under it, but he didn't. You're a bit too weak, said Xian Yuan, running towards Lin Feng again. He punched the air towards Lin Feng again. Lin Feng sensed the energy and it felt like his bones were going to break. Demon Seal Strength. Lin Feng released Demon Sealing Strength and punched the atmosphere. Xian Yuan suddenly felt immobilized. If only talent counted in the cultivation world, you would be too weak, said Lin Feng. It was a clash of the titans. Xian Yuan's oppressive strength could oppress Lin Feng. Lin Feng's strength of the Haruka could paralyze Xian Yuan. They were both very strong. If I'm too weak, then teach me how to be a strong cultivator, said Xian Yuan. He then shouted furiously, Die! The sound waves created by his voice turned into sharp blades and moved towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng moved back and groaned furiously, Arg! In a flash, he released an incredible strength. The sounds emitted by Lin Feng's attack sounded like a furious dragon. Boom, boom, boom. The atmosphere was distorted as Xian Yuan was propelled backwards too. When the air between them settled down, Xian Yuan looked upset. He didn't have the advantage at all. The crowd was surprised too. Lin Feng was incredible. They knew Xian Yuan had imperial blood and was strong, but he still didn't have the advantage. So far, it was a draw between them. You can be proud of yourself, you're resilient. Now, I will show you what real intense strength is, said Xian Yuan coldly. He was really angry because he thought that he would defeat Lin Feng in a few seconds. Proud or not, you can't judge me, you're just a show-off. And now, this battle is getting difficult for you, said Lin Feng mockingly. Xian Yuan pulled a long face, but didn't reply. He started running towards Lin Feng again. Rumbling sounds spread in the air as he released a monstrous qi. My determination makes me proud and strong. Nobody can resist my strength, said Xian Yuan. His intent contained the force of the earth and sky as well. A furious dragon appeared in the sky above. I've rarely seen people as arrogant as you, said Lin Feng with a cold smile. He started running forwards too. His sword qi started emitting whistling sounds in the air as it moved forwards with an indomitable determination. Xian Yuan was surprised and said, Level 7 sword intent, not bad, but against my level 8 intent, what can you do? Boom boom. Xian Yuan continued moving forwards. He wanted to destroy Lin Feng's sword qi. Is that so? I rely solely on my level 7 sword intent though, said Lin Feng moving forward toward Xian Yuan. He also released fire energy which contained fire intent. The crowd was surprised. Dual intent, and each at a high level. Bzzz. A hurricane appeared and collided with the sword and fire qi. People gasped with amazement. Level 7 sword intent, level 6 fire intent, and level 6 wind intent, is that enough? Asked Lin Feng. The crowd was speechless. 3 different sorts of intent, level 7 sword intent, and level 6 wind and fire intent, that was scary. Lin Feng mastered 3 different types of intent at such a high level even though he had only broken through to the 4th Tianqi layer. Stop talking and fight, we'll see if it's enough, yelled Xian Yuan. He ran towards Lin Feng in the air. His intent and force of the earth and sky were becoming thicker and thicker. Lin Feng's sword, fire and wind energies also condensed using the strength of the earth and sky. Together, all those energies were even more powerful. Die! Shouted Xian Yuan. His qi was moving towards Lin Feng with an incredible speed. Boom boom. The sky and earth seemed like they were going to collapse. Both Lin Feng and Xian Yuan were propelled backwards. Rumbling sounds spread in the air. As before, Xian Yuan hadn't managed to take the advantage. Chapter 1032. 2 people's corporeal bodies. The energies slowly dispersed. Xian Yuan was staring at Lin Feng coldly, but said nothing. They had been fighting for a while, but he hadn't gained the advantage once. He couldn't say anything. All he could do to show everyone he was the best was to kill Lin Feng, otherwise nobody would believe him. Also, that was the only way to prove to himself that he was the strongest and that nobody could defeat him. This time, Xian Yuan was furious. Lin Feng looked cold and detached. He looked neither happy nor sad, neither furious nor exhilarated. Disciples of rich and powerful clans couldn't compete with people who had imperial blood, that was a fact. Xian Yuan's abilities were really incredible. That's why he acted so arrogantly. Even in front of Ho Qinglin and Mu Chen, he acted arrogantly and fearlessly. He just hoped he would surpass them someday. That kind of person had only one goal, to become an emperor. Lin Feng wasn't scared though. He had seen great emperors. He had been in the Jade Emperor's palace and saw the 4 statues. All of them were emperors and great emperors. He had seen the 3 lives Demon Emperor and the Demon Emperor in the Death Valley. Xian Yuan wanted to become an emperor. Lin Feng didn't only hope to become an emperor, he wanted to become a great emperor. Bzzz. In the air, Xian Yuan moved again. His hand streaked across the sky as a trail of energy appeared. Bzzz. Another wave of energy appeared. A word appeared in the sky, the word, Xian. Around the word, there was an incredible amount of energies. Even the crowd who was very far away could sense those energies. Xian Yuan didn't stop though. He wrote another word in the sky, Yuan. What an incredible strength. Those are mysterious holy marks. He wrote his own name using them. How incredible, how majestic, thought the crowd. This time, what would Lin Feng do? When they looked at Lin Feng, they saw that he looked calm and detached. He slowly lowered his head and then raised his head. Lin Feng also started moving his hands. The marks he left in the sky contained an incredible and seemingly infinite amount of energy which was undulating and changing. Deadly energies emerged from those marks. Lin Feng can do it too, thought the crowd. People were even more surprised. Xian Yuan and Lin Feng had many spells and techniques to draw from. The Xian Yuan word became more distinct now. Its oppressive power intensified as well. Lin Feng wrote a word too. He wrote the word die in the sky. It contained incredible sword energies. The word Xian Yuan also contained Xian Yuan's intent. Lin Feng's word contained sword energies. Xian Yuan raised his head and looked at Lin Feng's word. He sighed, but continued condensing energies into his word. I wouldn't have thought that I would need to use real and genuine blood strength against you. It is the first time I have had to do that against someone of your level. Xian Yuan said slowly. Finally, Xian Yuan was going to show what his blood strength really looked like. Finally, Lin Feng was going to be defeated. However, he could already be proud that he had managed to fight that long against Xian Yuan. Xian Yuan raised his hand and dispersed the terrifying energies. The word Xian Yuan disappeared too. Lin Feng looked at Xian Yuan and smiled. He raised his hands too. His word die disappeared as well. Then, Xian Yuan released his blood strength, which emitted whistling sounds. I will show you how an emperor fights. Even if you lose, you can be proud of yourself, said Xian Yuan slowly. His body gradually turned into an illusion as if he was changing bodies. He looked domineering, majestic, and powerful. He looked like an emperor as his blood strength emerged. That was imperial blood. His flesh contained imperial strength. There was nothing he couldn't do. At that moment, Xian Yuan looked dignified as if nobody could stop him. Even with the strength of the first Tianqi layer, he looked incredible. With his real strength of the 7th Tianqi layer and his incredible imperial blood, he would have been even more terrifying. The crowd couldn't even imagine. With the body of an emperor, one of my punches is enough to kill someone of the same level, said Xian Yuan. Xian Yuan was now acting as if he were a real emperor. I told you, in my eyes, you're the same as everybody else. You're just a cultivator, that's all, said Lin Feng indifferently. Lin Feng's body also started turning into an illusion. He was bathing in golden lights. Very quickly, Lin Feng turned into an ancient Buddha. He looked majestic, dignified, domineering. Then, he turned into a Haruka and he was suddenly surrounded by demonic and ice-cold energies. People's hearts started racing. Lin Feng's body was flashing. 1 second he had the form of a Buddha, the other he had the form of a Haruka. Ho Qinglin was surprised as well. His eyes were twinkling. In the continent of the 9 clouds, only one person had such a body. It was the 3 Lives Demon Emperor who had practiced the 3 Lives Buddha demon skills, and he was extraordinary. There were 3 people in one body, each body was incredibly strong. They all had the strength of a great emperor. At that moment, surprisingly, Lin Feng reminded him of the 3 Lives Demon Emperor. Lin Feng's demonic energies were intensifying at that moment. He looked like a demon and his body was becoming even more distinct. Xian Yuan looked like an overlord and Lin Feng looked like a death god. Lin Feng uses the demon Buddha form to benefit the most from the demonic energies and to hide something. I see, thought Ho Qinglin. But what did Lin Feng want to hide? Did he want to hide a demonic skill? Did Lin Feng have a powerful demonic skill? All right. Xian Yuan was fixedly staring back at Lin Feng. He hadn't thought that Lin Feng could also turn into a demon. Lin Feng wasn't any weaker than him at that moment. From now on, I will never say you're an insect ever again, however, I will still kill you. Chapter 1033. Do you regret? You want to kill me? Said Lin Feng looking like a demon. He then added coldly, ridiculous, can you kill me? Your demonic body is powerful, but is your corporeal body strong enough? If you don't have powerful skills and strength to back them up, can you defeat me? Said Xian Yuan proudly. He then started running forwards again. In a flash, he arrived in front of Lin Feng and punched the air in his direction. He first wanted to see how resistant Lin Feng's Haruka body was. Could he break Lin Feng's bones with just his imperial strength? Boom boom. A loud spread in the air as well as terrifying energies. Lin Feng could barely breathe for a second. That wasn't the strength of the first Tianqi layer, that was much stronger. Even cultivators of the third and fourth Tianqi layer couldn't withstand that attack. Demonic energies rose up in the air. Lin Feng slowly raised his hands and punched back at Xian Yuan's fist this time. A very loud and strident sound spread in the air. Xian Yuan's facial expression was very serious. Even though he had a strong corporeal body, Lin Feng's strength of the Haruka blocked him. That was impressive to say the least. Xian Yuan suddenly released energies from his hand. He rose up in the air and looked at Lin Feng from above. "I'll show you what real strength looks like," said Xian Yuan coldly. He started condensing more energies in his fist as a gigantic imperial hand appeared above. "Sky-killing hand!" shouted Xian Yuan furiously. That terrifying and gigantic hand was dazzling. It seemed like it could hold bare the weight of the sky alone. "Gigantic demon hand!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. A gigantic demon hand appeared in the sky. "Your hand can't block mine," said Xian Yuan, throwing himself at Lin Feng. Boom boom. If the demonic hand was destroyed, Lin Feng would be in a bad position. The demon chi was enough to suffocate some people. "Great celestial demonic skill, die!" shouted Lin Feng. He rose up in the air. Boom boom boom. The imperial hand wasn't enough to block the demon hand. Xian Yuan had a strong corporeal body, but he was propelled backwards anyway. Lin Feng ran in the air and stood above Xian Yuan. He glared down at him coldly. His pupils were pitch black. The crowd shivered when they saw Lin Feng's eyes. "You took all the initiatives, you thought you were incredible, and you thought you could kill me. Let me tell you something, you can't kill me, but I can kill you," Lin Feng announced loud and clear. Was Lin Feng really that scary? People remembered that Lin Feng had climbed up the 9 groups of stairs. Initially, everybody thought that it was impossible, but in the end, Lin Feng did it. Now, everybody thought that Lin Feng would die easily, but they had been battling for who knows how long, and Xian Yuan wasn't looking so hot anymore. "Demon Fury, die!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. Pitch black energies rolled in the air. In a flash, a terrifying demonic hand moved towards Xian Yuan, emitting terrible demonic sounds. Xian Yuan was petrified. What was going on? Lin Feng wasn't only condensing energies into his demonic body, he also had incredible skills. Had Lin Feng learned special demonic skills? "No matter if we're the same level or not, I'm the only one who kills others. You will absolutely not kill me," shouted Xian Yuan furiously. He rose up in the air quickly and released his blood strength once more. "I will be the exception," said Lin Feng, looking terrifying with his pitch-black pupils. "Insane demon, arg!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. His demonic body looked extremely scary. It was as if the earth and sky were quivering in fear. Millions of demons seemed to be baring their fangs and brandishing claws. Xian Yuan trembled. He actually looked scared. "1,000 demons, 1,000 claws," said Lin Feng in a demonic voice. All those hands emitted whistling sounds as they fused together. Then they surrounded Xian Yuan. Lin Feng looked merciless. He kept moving his hands. He looked scary. Lin Feng condensed some explosive strength in his hands and said, "Demon destruction, destroy." Bzz. Xian Yuan felt immobilized, as if his flesh was corroding away. Lin Feng's demon destruction attack contained corrosive energies and acted as a sort of cage as well. "Piss off." Xian Yuan released more energies. However, Lin Feng looked unperturbed. He continued condensing his demonic energies. "Destroy," said Lin Feng. An explosive force crashed onto Xian Yuan's body again. "Destroy, destroy, destroy." Lin Feng's voice echoed across the battlefield, deep and hoarse-like. Lin Feng continued to condense incredible demon energies and barrage Xian Yuan with them. Arg! Xian Yuan released his spirit. He was stuck in Lin Feng's demon destruction cage. He had no choice but to release his spirit. The crowd looked incredulous. Xian Yuan, who had imperial blood and a strong corporeal body, needed his spirit to escape the demon's constriction. Lin Feng had the advantage now. "Do you think your spirit can still help you?" said Lin Feng in a deep voice. His voice was piercingly cold. "Destruction, die," said Lin Feng. In a flash, his explosive power surrounded Xian Yuan. Slash, slash. Terrifying sounds spread in the air as everybody was staring at Xian Yuan. Lin Feng's demonic chi seemed unfathomable. Arg! Xian Yuan looked at the sky. His body was being corroded. Was he going to lose? His eyes were red. He couldn't give up. However, Lin Feng looked at him expressionless. Don't think that because you have imperial blood or more experience that you can kill me so easily. If Master Ho Qing Lin hadn't said that we were both qualified already, I'd be willing to say that you're qualified to become an imperial cultivation disciple. Lin Feng said. Xian Yuan's brow twitched. Arg! He shouted furiously and his body slowly disappeared from the illusion. Lin Feng had won. Chapter 1034. Despising Yang Zi. Xian Yuan had died in the illusion. The crowd was speechless. Lin Feng's demonic energies slowly dispersed. However, Lin Feng was still there. Xian Yuan, who possessed imperial blood and was an excellent fighter, who despised everyone and had said he would easily defeat Lin Feng, had lost. The crowd realized now how scary Lin Feng was. They had seen it with their own eyes. If they hadn't seen it for themselves, they would hardly believe it. Xian Yuan was talented and had thought that he would rank first amongst Tian-level candidates. He had thought that, after that, he would ask for Yang Ziye's hand and that the Yang clan would admire him. However, Lin Feng had rescued Yang Ziyi, had been humiliated by her clan and had crushed her future husband. Lin Feng showed everyone how strong he was by defeating Xian Yuan. Yang Ziyi couldn't believe it. She was trembling. She felt humiliated. She could still see the battle play out in her head. She had thought that Lin Feng was a nobody, a weakling. She had humiliated him over and over again. She thought that her future lover, Xian Yuan, would defeat Lin Feng in one strike and that he would ask for her hand then. Qiu Yuxen was astonished too. She was looking at Lin Feng in the sky with her heart pounding. She was gasping in amazement. She had been scared that Lin Feng would get injured throughout the battle. She didn't mind if he lost or not, she just wanted him to be safe. She didn't think that he would defeat Xian Yuan in such a glorious way. She was overjoyed. Qiu Lin and Qiu Mei, and even Qiu Yuxian's third uncle wanted to kill Lin Feng. How foolish. She would always hate them for that. If they had seen what just happened in the illusion, the Qiu clan would have welcomed Lin Feng with open arms and would have given him Qiu Yuxian's hand. He was an authentic genius and his future was bright. Xian Yuan thought he was going to become an emperor. Well then, what about Lin Feng? Didn't that mean he was going to become an emperor as well? He's awesome. He always let me win. Thought Qiu Yuxian with a resplendent smile. She had attacked Lin Feng a few times in the past, but Lin Feng never showed her his real strength. Thinking back about that, she felt happy. Ho Qing Lin hadn't thought that Lin Feng would win either. In the northern part of Ba Huang province, even Ho Qing Lin had heard of Xian Yuan. That's why he said that no matter who the winner was, they would both be qualified. Actually, he had just tried to help Lin Feng. If he had known that Lin Feng would win, he would have preferred to eliminate Xian Yuan. That would have been more interesting. At that moment, Lin Feng slowly turned around and looked at Yang Zi. She was petrified and turned pale. Yang Zilan had no chance to become an imperial cultivation disciple this time. Lin Feng had eliminated him. Now that Xian Yuan had been defeated by Lin Feng, she couldn't compete with Lin Feng. What do you want? Asked Yang Ziyi to Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at her from above in a disdainful way. They had switched places it seemed. She used to be the one who looked at him in a disdainful way. I rescued you. I took you home safe and sound. Your clan humiliated me. Xian Yuan was supposed to rank first and now I defeated him. How does it feel to see that the piece of trash who will be your future husband lost? Lin Feng said indifferently. Yang Zi pulled a long face. You won because you have the same cultivation level in the illusion. How dare you compare yourself to him? Said Yang Zi coldly. Indeed, I've been practicing cultivation for 10 years now and I can already defeat him. When I reach the clouds, I'll spit on him. Said Lin Feng calmly. He wasn't proud to have won against Xian Yuan, but at least he had taught them a good lesson. Lin Feng wasn't a saint, he didn't believe there were saints either. Everybody had different motives and different friends. What was the purpose of cultivation if it was to remain indifferent? If people humiliated him, then he would enjoy humiliating them back. Attack, said Yang Ziyi. She knew she had no chance to become an imperial cultivation disciple. Lin Feng wouldn't let her off either. She hated him. That nobody, Lin Feng, had eliminated her brother and was now going to eliminate her now. Lin Feng raised his hand and punched the air in Yang Ziyi's direction. In a flash, she disappeared from the illusion. The crowd was astonished. Nobody understood what was going on. They had heard about Yang Zilan and Yang Ziyi who wanted to kill Lin Feng. Yang Zilan and Yang Ziyi hated Lin Feng. Of course, Lin Feng didn't care about them. After all, they had wanted to kill him since the start. They had plotted against him, so Lin Feng didn't need to act merciful. Ho Qinglin was observing them. 1,000 people were left in the illusion. Won't you all continue fighting? Asked Ho Qinglin indifferently. If you don't continue fighting, I'll take you out and prepare another exam for you. Whatever you decide, there will inevitably only be 81 people left. Many people remained silent, but they seemingly didn't want to continue fighting. That exam was too hard. If they were careless, they could get eliminated quickly. Since you don't want to fight, I'll take you out, said Ho Qinglin. He shook his hand and the small world disappeared. They appeared in the palace again. Chapter 1035. Mu Chen's supervision. Everybody was in the palace, including those who had been eliminated. Xian Yuan, Yang Zilan, Yang Zi, they were all there. Boom! Yang Zilan released terrifying energies towards Lin Feng. He wanted to kill Lin Feng right away. Lin Feng looked at him indifferently. He didn't even try to dodge the attack. How insolent! Shouted a furious voice which made the whole palace shake. Sound waves crashed onto Yang Zilan's body, which left him crawling on the ground and spitting out blood. Brother! Yan Zi looked alarmed. Yang Zilan looked back at Ho Qinglin while still spitting out blood. He didn't dare get furious again. Ho Qinglin was incredibly strong. Even if Yang Zilan was rich and powerful, he couldn't do anything against Ho Qinglin. Next time, I'll kill you, said Ho Qinglin coldly. Lin Feng was furious because Yang Zilan was disrespecting this holy place, Tiantai. He had shown disrespect for Tiantai and its inhabitants. Yang Zilan was actually this impolite. Ho Qinglin's attack wasn't even enough to punish Yang Zilan. Yang Zilan didn't say anything. He felt like he had lost everything. He belonged to a rich and powerful family. He had managed to climb up the stairs. He had thought he'd become an imperial cultivation disciple, but in the end he was eliminated by Lin Feng. Now, people would make fun of him in Ba Huang. He couldn't even get his revenge while Ho Qinglin was there. Ho Qinglin could kill him with one finger. If he tried anything funny again, Ho Qinglin would kill him. He was the emperor's direct disciple. He didn't fear the Yangs. Yang Zilan was supported by a rich family. Ho Qinglin was supported by emperors. You don't know how to differentiate good from bad, said Lin Feng mockingly. Xian Yuan looked at Lin Feng coldly, but didn't try anything. Lin Feng glanced at Xian Yuan and saw murder in his eyes. Of course, Xian Yuan was furious. He was so strong, he was so famous. Losing against Lin Feng wasn't something he longed for. Everybody knew that if Lin Feng and he were at the same level, he wouldn't have lost. The news would spread quickly in Ba Huang. I told you clearly that those who had been eliminated could either continue practicing cultivation in Tiantai and apply to become imperial cultivation disciples in the second batch. Of course, you can leave too. Someone can show you the way if you want to leave. Nobody will force you to stay in Tiantai, said Ho Qinglin. Many people sighed. They had passed the first part of the exam, but not the second part. Now they didn't know what to do. You can go now, said Ho Qinglin slowly. Those who had been eliminated simply left. I hope that you will become an imperial cultivation disciple and that you will stay in Tiantai so that they can protect you forever, said Yang Zilan coldly. Lin Feng. Then he left. He was crushed. A genius like him had failed. Forever? Ridiculous, said Lin Feng glancing at him coldly. Surprisingly, Yang Zilan was threatening him. How ridiculous! The Yang siblings left. However, everybody understood that the Yang Zilan wouldn't let Lin Feng off this easily. If Lin Feng ever left Tiantai, they would find him and kill him. After they left, Ho Qinglin took the crowd out of the palace and back on the road. There were palaces all around them. Everybody looked at those 81 palaces in the distance and hoped to end up in one of them soon. If they became imperial cultivation disciples, they would be able to have their own palace in Tiantai. How glorious! Let's go, said Ho Qinglin to the crowd. They continued walking. Someone suddenly came running up to Ho Qinglin. Brother, how's it going? That person was also one of the emperor's direct disciples, Mu Chen. It's all right. We can switch now. I won't be worried if you take care of them. You just have to make sure they feel exhausted. Mu Chen smiled indifferently. Ho Qinglin shook his head and smiled wryly. Brother, you're too generous. All right, be merciless. Mu Chen laughed wholeheartedly and Ho Qinglin said, nodding, all right, they're yours. Brother, don't be too nice to them. All right, said Mu Chen nodding and laughing. Ho Qinglin then left. After Ho Qinglin left, Mu Chen smiled at the crowd and said, you must be tired after those difficult challenges. I'll take you to a nice place. Mu Chen smiled indifferently. He gave everyone the impression he was easygoing. However, what did he mean by a nice place? They were wondering. Besides, from what Ho Qinglin had said to Mu Chen, they were even more curious. Chapter 1036. Mu Chen's philosophy. However, everybody understood that to become a strong cultivator, one couldn't be merciful. Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's first recruitment process was extremely important. Mu Chen was the emperor's direct disciple, so if he did anything good for the candidates, it also had to be in accordance with the objectives set in the frame for the recruitment process. Therefore, when Mu Chen said he was taking them to a nice place, only few people felt relaxed. A vast majority of them were actually getting ready to fight for a palace, that is. Mu Chen took the candidates to a palace that was different from the one Ho Qinglin had taken them. The palace looked like an illusion and contained a particular energy. Inside, the oppressive strength is going to crush your bodies. It's similar to the energies which were used on the flight of stairs. It's not entirely the same though. Inside, the lights will take you to different places, said Mu Chen smiling. Everybody was wondering what it was. Was it a deployment spell? Different lights, different places? If you want to become imperial cultivation disciples and obtain one of the 81 palaces, you must enter. Going inside that palace can be beneficial or fatal. Now, you can decide whether you want to take the risk or call it quits. If you decide to give up now, you can still stay in Tiantai and practice cultivation for 100 days and you'll have the opportunity to apply as a second batch student. That was a nice place according to Mu Chen. I'll repeat, you can choose what you want to do now, you can give up or you can put your life in the hands of fate, said Mu Chen. As a cultivator, I fear nothing, said someone and then immediately jumped into the lights. The energies were oppressive. Boom! He released pure qi, but the energies kept oppressing him. It seemed like he was going to suffocate. The energies were even more oppressive than the staircase from the first exam. Bzz. A terrifying sound invaded the atmosphere and that candidate disappeared. He's right. Cultivators are fearless, said someone else who then jumped in. Many people followed. The same thing was happening to all of them. The pressure seemed very high and then they slowly disappeared. Lin Feng didn't move. He slowly sensed that oppressive energy and frowned. Lin Feng had the sensation that the intensity of the energy was different from one moment to another. There was a pattern. The more a cultivator could the oppressive energies, the more oppressive the energies became. Mu Chen said that those lights could take us to different places. I suppose the opportunities will be different depending on how long we can stay in those lights, thought Lin Feng. He then said to Qiu Yuexin, when you're inside, try to endure the lights as long as you can until you absolutely can't stand it anymore. All right, said Qiu Yuexin nodding. She looked like an obedient child. Lin Feng walked into the lights and in a flash, a terrifying energy oppressed his body. That energy was terrifying. No wonder so many people couldn't endure it for that long. Shen Yuan followed Lin Feng into the lights. He wanted to try competing with Lin Feng again. Inside the illusion, Lin Feng had defeated him and killed him. Xian Yuan had to gain back his reputation. Otherwise, he would never gain back his self-confidence. Lin Feng didn't mind. Lin Feng had already humiliated the Yang siblings and Xian Yuan. He had his revenge. The most important thing now was to become the emperor's disciple and rank as high as he could in the competition. After becoming an imperial cultivation disciple, all those people who wanted to kill him wouldn't be able to anymore. At least, he would be safe in Tiantai. The energies became even more oppressive, but Lin Feng looked relaxed. That wasn't difficult for him after having practiced in the magical flight of stairs. More and more people ran into the lights. Some people used their own strength to endure the pressure longer. Most people were convinced that the longer they could stay inside, the better. Otherwise, after the flight of stairs, why would Mu Chen bring them there? Bzzz, many people disappeared. Those who could endure the pressure were less numerous. The energies were becoming even more oppressive by now. Lin Feng sensed the fifth wave of energy coming, and it was very intense. He circulated his blood strength throughout his body and closed his eyes. It seemed like he wanted to fuse together with those energies and with the natural force of the earth and sky. In the flight of stairs, the energies could propel people away. This energy is different, the pressure is downwards, as if one had something heavy on their back. It continues to get heavier until you teleport, thought Lin Feng calmly. At that moment, the pressure was extremely intense. Lin Feng continued condensing energies. If the oppressive energies suddenly disappeared, his own energies would propel him to the clouds. Maybe the places we're being sent are up in the sky, thought Lin Feng. He opened his eyes and raised his head. Everybody had first moved up before disappearing. No matter what, Lin Feng wasn't going to give up. The energies were powerful, but at least they were useful to practice cultivation under. Lin Feng was fearless. He didn't mind suffering to become stronger. Everybody disappeared, and in the end, only Xian Yuan and Lin Feng were left. Mu Chen looked at Lin Feng and smiled when he saw how perseverant he was. That was interesting. I hope you'll become stronger, little boy. Our master sent my fellow disciple to Ganyu to singularly find you after all, thought Mu Chen. That was the world of cultivation. They didn't mind most things. Even though their teacher attached such importance to Lin Feng, if he couldn't persevere, then he was worthless. He had to be determined to remain interesting. Nobody was willing to waste time on an unmotivated or ungrateful student. Only if Lin Feng took great efforts, would the emperor would respect him. Chapter 1037. Portraits of Emperors. Xian Yuan didn't manage to surpass Lin Feng once again. He ended up being propelled upwards by the energies, leaving Lin Feng as the last one. Lin Feng felt like he was going to suffocate, his body was shaking. Finally, Lin Feng sensed that he was rising up and he disappeared. Bzzz. It was as if he had been attacked. The lights propelled him high up in the sky. In a flash, he was in another world. Lin Feng glanced around to see what was new. There were stones and walls all around him. There were drawings, carvings and paintings. All of them were portraits. They all look extraordinary, thought Lin Feng glancing at those portraits. All those portraits contained an incredible energy too. Lin Feng walked around and observed the paintings. His attention was drawn to a portrait of a man who looked extremely aggressive. He was holding an axe. He looked like he wanted to chop the whole world apart with that axe. Lin Feng could sense an incredible qi emanating from that portrait. It had to be an emperor. Lin Feng stretched his hand and touched the painting. He immediately had the sensation that the man was attacking him with his axe, as if he was trying to chop Lin Feng in two. Lin Feng took back his hand and continued walking around, still shocked by the experience. Lin Feng stopped in front of another portrait. It was a handsome and cold-looking man. He had the eyes of a beast. It was difficult to forget such eyes. Lin Feng turned around quickly. He didn't want to start at that portrait for too long. His godly awareness wasn't strong enough. Maybe Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu drew those paintings, thought Lin Feng. Apart from emperors, who could have produced such powerful paintings? They all contained an explosive power. Besides, all those portraits probably depicted emperors. Otherwise, Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu wouldn't have put such terrifying qi into them. But why put all the paintings there? There were hundreds of thousands of pieces in there. Each of them looked incredibly real. That must have meant that Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu had seen them personally. How many emperors were there in Ba Huang province? Maybe there were emperors from Ba Huang province, Jiuyu, and maybe even from the Holy City? Lin Feng was sure that Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu had seen those people personally. Lin Feng continued walking around and stopped in front of each painting. Very quickly, Lin Feng found out that the paintings on one wall were different from the others. There were only a few paintings on that particular wall, but they were less distinct than the others. Maybe Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu had painted them that way because they hadn't seen them personally and had relied solely on their memories to paint them? Lin Feng looked at them and suddenly had déjà vu. There was one portrait of a man wearing black clothes. He looked demonic and scary. The Demon Emperor. Lin Feng had seen the Demon Emperor's statue in the Jade Emperor's palace. On his side was a woman. She looked incredibly beautiful. Her face was covered with a veil so Lin Feng couldn't see her facial traits clearly. It probably meant that Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu had never seen her face either. She looked emotionless and expressionless. Is that Empress Shi? Thought Lin Feng. In the Jade Emperor's palace, the Empress Qi wasn't distinct. However, she was extremely beautiful, just like this one. In the Jade Emperor's palace, the statues had been created by the Jade Emperor himself. He had depicted the great emperors he admired. He had also left a note which said the Empress had died. The 3 Lives Great Emperor. Lin Feng noticed a painting with a very particular qi. Lin Feng recognized the 3 Lives Demon Emperor, 3 bodies, 3 types of cultivation. Apart from the 3 emperors and great emperors, there were a few other portraits of very strong and powerful people. Lin Feng would never forget those people. Maybe they were powerful emperors from the antiquity. Of course, Lin Feng didn't know if the lives of emperors and great emperors had limits. As long as they didn't die in battle, couldn't they live for millions of years? Weren't emperors and great emperors who were alive in the antiquity still alive? Maybe they were immortal. Lin Feng had seen something similar with the 3 Lives Demon Emperor. It seems like the Demon Emperor, Empress Shi, and the 3 Lives Emperor are very famous. The Jade Emperor wasn't the only one who admired them. Even though Emperor Yu and Emperor Shi have never seen them, they also admire them. They just relied on their memories to paint them. Thought Lin Feng looking at the paintings. He could only guess. He didn't know where he was and why those paintings were there. However, he enjoyed looking at those paintings. In Ba Huang province, Xian-level cultivators were considered extremely weak, Tian-level cultivators were ordinary, and Zun cultivators were considered fairly strong. Cultivators had to be, at least, emperors to be admired. Then they could have their own disciples, their own followers. Lin Feng could only guess about emperors. He didn't know enough about them. When a cultivator reached such a high level, he probably only stayed with people at the same level, which meant other emperors. Lin Feng couldn't imagine what it was like to be an emperor. He didn't even know where they lived. I am the one who stayed the longest in the lights and now I'm surrounded by portraits of emperors with incredible energies. If I practice cultivation in here for a few days, it will probably help me a lot. Thought Lin Feng. Mu Chen was one of the emperor's direct disciples. He seemed to think highly of Lin Feng just like the Sadhu or Ho Qing Lin. Lin Feng still didn't understand what his relationship to these people was. Were they friends, future fellow disciples? Was it a teacher-disciple relationship? Besides, Mu Chen had said that those places could be dangerous. But in that room, Lin Feng hadn't seen any danger yet. Chapter 1038, Coldness and Death. Lin Feng didn't ask himself too many questions. All in all, he had an opportunity to become stronger, so practicing cultivation was the best thing he could do now. He would benefit from Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's paintings. Lin Feng walked to the center of the room and sat down cross-legged, taking out his Tian Shen stone. Lin Feng sensed all the energies of the paintings distinctly. Lin Feng visualized the emperor with the axe, his ice-cold eyes. It seemed like he could crush people's souls with his eyes. It was as if nobody dared look him in the eyes. There were definitely many things to study in there. Lin Feng opened his book Spirit. Lin Feng sensed his surroundings distinctly, clearly and slowly, visualizing all the paintings. He could only manage this task slowly. He was realizing how terrifying those paintings were while slowly familiarizing himself with them. The energies were becoming even more intense. If Lin Feng was careless, the paintings would attack him. After a long time, Lin Feng opened his eyes and took a deep breath. He had used his awareness to study the paintings, but the longer he studied them, the more terrifying the energies became. So he decided to take a break. I can only study one painting at a time. If I managed to study them all, it would be incredible for my cultivation, whispered Lin Feng. Actually, he really wanted to study only one of them in detail and master it. But in the end, he did things differently. It was such a rare opportunity that he had to make things compact. Studying them all a little was beneficial as well. Very soon after, Lin Feng started studying again using his Tian Xian stone and his spirit. He was slowly becoming stronger. Studying imperial teachings could only make him stronger. Besides, those weren't ordinary portraits. They were portraits of emperors which contained essential aspects of their own cultivation. After 19 days, Lin Feng was still sitting there and he didn't know how much time had passed. Bzz. A strength appeared in the room and the qi became increasingly intense. It turned into a whirlwind and slowly condensed around Lin Feng. Lin Feng sensed the energies and opened his eyes. What was going on? Lin Feng didn't understand. What a terrifying strength. He frowned. Could it be a sign that he had to leave the place? Towards the massacre place at all costs. Come out alive, said a mysterious voice at that moment. Massacre Palace? At all costs, come out alive? That voice wasn't Mu Chen's voice. They had probably sentenced the candidates for their last exam. Many people were going to die inside, but the survivors would become imperial cultivation disciples. The energies surrounded Lin Feng as he realized that the voice was echoing. He lowered his head and realized he wasn't in the palace anymore. He was in a terrifying empty space full of energy. There were many people under him and they were all surrounded by the energies as well. Bzz. Lin Feng had the feeling he was in a space, like the path to mysterious world where the Jade Emperor's palace was. Boom boom. Lin Feng fell down on the ground and he suddenly felt like all his bones were going to break. Where am I? Thought Lin Feng. There were pale lights and an evil qi. It was strangely cold as well. Desolate qi. I can sense some desolate qi. Lin Feng sensed desolate qi very clearly, especially since he had absorbed it before using his bestial consciousness. The energy which brought me here was extremely powerful. Maybe it brought me millions of kilometers away from Tiantai. Massacre Place. That place was probably where the final exam would take place. How to finish the exam though? Thought Lin Feng. Where are the thousands of people he saw in space while being brought there? They were probably all in that mysterious place with him. Lin Feng started walking, without knowing exactly where he was going. He just wanted to see if anyone else was there and how big that place was. He was very cold. Had that place undergone a massacre? Slash. Lin Feng heard a sharp sound and he was suddenly surrounded by deadly energies. He felt ice cold. People had died there and he was certain of it now. That energy was so cold that it seemed like it could kill people without any resistance. They could just wait for death. How could I die here? Thought Lin Feng, feeling determined. He suddenly released some energies. Die! Shouted Lin Feng furiously while turning around. The sound waves produced by his voice contained demonic energies and made the entire atmosphere shake. Slash, slash. Subtle sounds spread in the air as Lin Feng was surrounded by those piercingly cold energies. It was as if he could see other people there. At that moment, a dagger filled with ice-cold energies moved towards him. Piss off! Lin Feng raised his hand and punched it. Boom boom. Lin Feng's punch reached a person, who then turned around and ran towards a forest. Third Tian Qi layer. Lin Feng used his Xiao Yao agility technique and moved extremely quickly to chase that person. That person had managed to hide their qi. It probably wasn't someone who was sent there with him. Chapter 1039. Terrifying Massacre Place. Surprisingly, There are people inside that forest who can hide their qi and who are seemingly very strong. Thought Lin Feng. Lin Feng had the feeling he was inside an illusion. The cultivator of the third Tianqi layer probably knew the surroundings quite well. Lin Feng didn't really understand what was going on yet, though. If his godly awareness hadn't been strong enough, the attack a moment before would have killed him. "You think you can escape?" said Lin Feng coldly. He used wind intent to move even faster. Coupled with his Xiao Yao agility technique, he was as fast as lightning. However, the enemy didn't leave any trace of qi. Lin Feng had to be careful, otherwise he could easily be jumped again. No wonder that cultivator of the third Tianqi layer attacked me, thought Lin Feng. He tried to release qi to see if he could find the enemy. That person knew they couldn't escape, so they turned around. Lin Feng had the feeling it was an illusion, a deadly illusion at that. "Die!" shouted Lin Feng furiously while releasing energies and punching the air in front of him. His punch contained demon seal energies. Boom! Lin Feng's demon seal strength restricted his enemy so they could barely move. Lin Feng had broken through to the fourth Tianqi layer and his opponent had the strength of the third Tianqi layer, therefore it wasn't difficult for him to gain the upper hand. Boom boom! That person crashed on the ground and blood splashed out their mouth. Slash! That person released ice-cold dagger energies. As Lin Feng wasn't too far from them, their cold energies felt even colder. "Die!" said Lin Feng coldly. He had studied the emperor's paintings and was prepared for some battles. His opponent could barely move after being punched. Boom boom! He was crawling now. Lin Feng trampled on their arm and crackling sounds were heard. The opponent gave a horrible shriek. "Why did you attack me?" asked Lin Feng. The opponent looked at him in an evil and cold way. "Since you're here, why would you ask?" asked the opponent. "Where are we?" asked Lin Feng coldly. The opponent looked at him in a strange way. How had Lin Feng made it there? Besides, he hadn't thought that he would lose with his abilities and his illusions. He had killed many people, many of whom were as strong as Lin Feng, sometimes stronger. In the illusion, it was usually difficult for people to counterattack. However, Lin Feng easily understood his attacks and had even chased him. Maybe Lin Feng was a manhunter? "Don't you know?" asked the opponent coldly. "I don't know," replied Lin Feng. "How did you come here then?" asked that person coldly. "I asked you a question, answer me. Maybe I won't kill you if you tell me," said Lin Feng, just as coldly. What? Maybe he wouldn't kill him? He still had a chance to live. Nobody was merciful there. How could Lin Feng be merciful? "Are you serious? If you continue asking questions, I'll change my mind," said Lin Feng coldly. "We're under the Huang Sea, in a place made of fire. It's also a place of massacre. Many extremely strong cultivators and imperial cultivation disciples come here to practice. They come here to kill people and become stronger. It's a place where life and death coexist. Here, people fight for strength, not for glory," said Lin Feng's interlocutor. Lin Feng was surprised. He was under the Huang Sea, no wonder there was desolate qi. According to legends, that place was created by several strong cultivators from the Ba Huang province. They took huge risks to create that world. It is also very beneficial to practice cultivation here. Everyone who wants to become an imperial cultivation disciple has to come here at least once. If they die here, then it means they're not strong enough to become imperial cultivation disciples. There are also several imperial cultivation disciples who come here to practice. They're the only ones who can come here without any restrictions. And only emperors can send people here. Disciples who belong to rich and powerful families have to ask emperors for their permission before coming here. Therefore, when people come here, they're merciless and will try to kill everyone. "That's why I tried to kill you," said that person. "That was a place of massacre. People went there to kill. And those who wanted to become imperial cultivation disciples had to come here at least once. No wonder Mu Chen sent us here. We have to massacre people," thought Lin Feng. He then asked again, "How vast is this place? How many strong cultivators are there?" "It's as vast as a city. There are only Tian-level cultivators here. If there were Zun cultivators as well, it would be difficult. I don't know how many people there are total though. There are people from the entire province. Apart from Imperial cultivation disciples and rich young cultivators, there are few others who are sent here. Therefore, I think there should be a dozen or several hundreds of thousands of people," replied Lin Feng's interlocutor. "How can we get out?" asked Lin Feng. The other remained silent. "Tell me the truth. If I think you're lying, I'll kill you without hesitating," said Lin Feng coldly. He had the impression that his interlocutor was scared. Cultivators of the first Tianqi layer have to kill 10 people here. There are people who guard the territory and altars of sacrifice, so you have to go through them to get back to your imperial territory. If you have broken through to the second Tianqi layer, then you must kill 20 people, and so on. A cultivator of the 9th Tianqi layer must kill 90 people, said Lin Feng's interlocutor. Lin Feng had to kill so many people to get back. No wonder that place was a place of massacre. He didn't want to tell Lin Feng because Lin Feng might then kill him. That would be one of 40 down. So I need to kill 40 people to get back, thought Lin Feng. How cruel. To become an imperial cultivation disciple, to become a really strong cultivator, he had to trample on other people's bones and corpses. In that place, one could live or die, but they had to be a good hunter. We can't stay here too long. Our battle will attract more people, said Lin Feng's interlocutor. There were many people in there and weak people had to be careful not to become prey. Chapter 1040, Hunting. Lin Feng nodded. It was part of the exam to become an imperial cultivation disciple. If he encountered a cultivator at the top of the Tianqi layer, he would be in mortal danger. There were also the imperial cultivation disciples who often came to practice. Lin Feng took his foot away off his interlocutor's arm. He was surprised and said, "Thank you." "How many people did you kill so far?" asked Lin Feng. 18. Lin Feng nodded. His interlocutor still had 12 people to kill before leaving. In Tiantai, there were 1,000 candidates, all of whom had to kill a few dozen people. Maybe in the end, even less than 81 of them would make it out. "Let's stay together," said Lin Feng indifferently. That person frowned. "You don't want to?" That person suddenly looked scared. Nobody was nice there. If he didn't obey, maybe Lin Feng would kill him. No problem. "I'm staying with you," said Lin Feng's interlocutor. In the distance, someone gave a horrible shriek. It wasn't far from them. "Over there," said Lin Feng. Lin Feng's new partner didn't mind. Lin Feng seemed strong. Lin Feng was surprisingly kind too. He hadn't killed him. Slash. They only walked a few meters before they heard another sound. Lin Feng stopped again and frowned. "I feel like someone is watching us. I think someone is hunting us," said Lin Feng's new partner. He seemed afraid. He was hunting others so far and now he had the sensation people were hunting him. The nightmare was starting. However, Lin Feng remained silent and continued walking as if he had said nothing. He seems so relaxed, thought that person. The energies were getting even more intense. Slash. At that moment, a sharp sound spread in the air. Boom! Lin Feng raised his fist and punched the air, breaking the attack. Slash. A flower appeared in front of him, and it looked strangely dangerous. Lin Feng ran forwards and punched the air again. Someone fell down and blood splashed. That person was dead. "He's dead." Lin Feng's new partner was astonished and turned deathly pale. He hadn't seen who had killed that person. He had probably sensed their chi a moment before. Lin Feng walked towards the corpse and turned it with his foot. That person's throat had been slit by a sharp blade. Lin Feng remained silent and continued walking. He was surrounded by a pale white light and an ice-cold chi. It looked like his body was covered with snowflakes. "We can't continue. It's a dead end over there," said Lin Feng's new partner. Lin Feng continued though. "Come with me," said Lin Feng, turning his head. His new partner kept shaking his head and said, "I can't stay with you. I'm off. See you." Then he turned around and ran away from Lin Feng. "Come back," shouted Lin Feng. However, the guy acted as if he hadn't heard him and ran away. Slash. A beam of light moved into the distance. Blood splashed and that guy collapsed. Hunters of Darkness. Those were the guy's last words. Even though Lin Feng said he could forgive him, he had ended up being hunted by someone else, but there was nobody there. There was seemingly nothing in that forest. Lin Feng didn't see anyone. The energies he used to kill that guy illuminated the atmosphere for less than a millisecond, almost impossible to trace. "Hunters of darkness," whispered Lin Feng. In a flash, he had killed several people around him, but he hadn't seen them. Lin Feng had no choice but to be cruel in there. He then continued walking calmly. Lin Feng wasn't shocked by death anymore. He had killed so many people in his life. Snowflakes were floating around him. Nothing could affect Lin Feng's mood though. Snowflakes were floating around him and he felt calm and serene, as if he were strolling in a park. Slash. An ice-cold light appeared. Bzz. At the same time, an empty space strength appeared too. Sounds spread in the air. But Lin Feng wasn't affected. He was hiding in his snow illusion. Boom boom. Then, suddenly, his empty space illusion disappeared. Lin Feng, who had been calm, suddenly looked vigilant and released sword energies. Die. Boom boom. Rumbling sounds spread in the air. An incredible quantity of sword energies invaded the atmosphere. At the same time, Lin Feng punched the air around him, but still couldn't see anyone. He had to protect himself. From the darkness, someone groaned with pain. There were other subtle sounds, and after a short time, it became calm again. There was absolutely no sound anymore. Lin Feng was motionless and lowered his head. There was blood. Lin Feng frowned. He realized what had happened. Hunters of darkness. Shadows. Lin Feng hadn't seen anyone. Mr. Kong. Lin Feng suddenly looked grave and solemn. He remembered the Yunhai sect and the old man in the mountains who had sacrificed himself to save Lin Feng. Mr. Kong's spirit was a shadow. He could kill people without being seen, just like that person a moment ago. Maybe that person had a shadow spirit like Mr. Kong. Lin Feng sighed and continued walking. That place was incredible. Chapter 1041. Killing Shadow Hunters. I encountered 2 strong cultivators in such a short time. Luckily, I was stronger than them, otherwise I would have died. Thought Lin Feng. At that moment, he was starting to realize how scary that place. Luckily, the cultivator with the shadow spirit wasn't stronger than Lin Feng, and luckily Lin Feng had managed to injure him. In that place, there were all sorts of Tian-level cultivators. In order to finish as fast as possible, high-level cultivators had to kill a lot of people. In order to become a good hunter, cultivators in that world also had to learn how to watch their own back. Drip, drip. Lin Feng heard some water and frowned. He raised his head and without hesitating, he immediately punched the air. At the same time, he released some dazzling energies and noticed people. Die, said Lin Feng. He had injured the cultivator with the shadow spirit, but he was still trying to kill him. He was hiding in trees now. I was too careless, thought Lin Feng, wiping sweat off his forehead. Everything became dark around Lin Feng as he was surrounded by an incredibly sharp qi. He started moving like the wind. Lin Feng tried to follow the cultivator with the shadow spirit by listening to the sounds the leaves made as he moved. The cultivator with the shadow spirit had tried to kill Lin Feng twice. Did he think Lin Feng was that easy to kill? Suddenly the sounds stopped. Lin Feng raised his hand and released energies. Die! Shouted Lin Feng coldly. Lights of energies streaked across the sky and disappeared. Slash, slash. Another sound spread in the air. Lin Feng looked. Was that guy leaving? Drip, drip. Blood appeared. Someone was injured. Lin Feng had managed to injure him with his last attack. Umph. Lin Feng groaned coldly. If that guy hadn't tried to kill him twice, Lin Feng wouldn't have chased him. If he didn't do anything, the guy with the shadow spirit would probably try a 3rd time and a 4th time. Lin Feng chased him. They arrived in a field, but as before, Lin Feng couldn't see anything. He was just relying on the sounds he heard and the qi. For him, that was enough. The cultivator was quite fast though. They weren't far from each other, but Lin Feng's opponent wasn't any slower than him. That guy was probably using advanced agility techniques. Gotcha, gotcha. Another sound was heard. Two dazzling white wings appeared and illuminated the surroundings. B. A strong wind started blowing as Lin Feng became even faster. "You're insane," shouted someone furiously. The guy with the shadow spirit was furious. He wouldn't have thought he'd meet such an insane guy as Lin Feng, who didn't care about drawing other people's attention. Many people would come over. He didn't dare stop now. He had even been injured by Lin Feng, so if he stopped again, Lin Feng would certainly kill him. If he had known that Lin Feng would chase him like that, he wouldn't have attacked him. "Almost there," thought the guy with shadow spirit. Lin Feng threw himself at him. "He looks scary." "You want to die," said the guy with the shadow spirit. Lin Feng sensed desolate qi and rumbling sounds spreading in the air. Desolate qi. They were under the Huang Sea. Even though there was a separation between the Huang Sea and that small world, some qi still spilled into that world. Surprisingly, the cultivator with the shadow spirit could use the desolate qi there. "Die!" shouted that person furiously. The cultivator appeared in Lin Feng's field of vision. It was a slim young man. He avoided Lin Feng's sword qi and attacked him with some desolate qi. Bzz. The desolate qi approached Lin Feng. The young man was smiling in a cold way. Lin Feng moved backwards as if he was still worried that the desolate qi could affect him. Lin Feng calmly looked at the desolate qi. Desolate qi had no impact on Lin Feng. It was just a energy for Lin Feng. The young man's facial expression changed drastically. Desolate qi had no effect on Lin Feng? "You must be disappointed," said Lin Feng coldly. He opened his silver wings and turned into a white beam of light, throwing himself at the young man while condensing sealing strength in his hands. Shadow! The young man disappeared once again. Lin Feng didn't give him any chance to escape though. Lin Feng's sealing strength was more than enough for him. Bzz. Lin Feng's opponent could barely move. He fixedly stared at Lin Feng. Lin Feng could block desolate qi and could use sealing strength. How scary was that? Why had he attacked Lin Feng? What a tragedy! He had come there to practice cultivation and he was very strong. But that small world was cruel. They were all hunters in there. He hadn't thought he'd meet someone with such a diverse skill set as Lin Feng's. "Don't you want to kill me?" said Lin Feng, raising his finger and shooting a beam of light towards the young man. Blood splashed again. "Die!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. He punched the atmosphere in the direction of the young man, who suddenly looked hopeless. In a flash he died. Lin Feng had even released some desolate qi in his attack. How was that possible? He clearly saw that Lin Feng possessed desolate qi. He hadn't borrowed it from his surroundings. No matter what, he was dead now. He was Lin Feng's first prey. Many people came closer, but when they sensed the desolate qi, they moved back. Desolate qi was terrifying. Lin Feng raised his head and continued releasing desolate qi. Chapter 1042, Imperial Battles. Desolate qi is so powerful, thought Lin Feng, raising his head. There were some black lights in his desolate qi. The young man with the shadow spirit had brought Lin Feng there on purpose, thinking he could attract the desolate qi and kill Lin Feng. Unfortunately, it hadn't worked. He knew that there was desolate qi here. "There's a hole, so he brought me here on purpose," whispered Lin Feng. Then he decided to leave that place. Very quickly, Lin Feng arrived in another place, far away from that desolate qi. He was wondering where Qiu Xan was. She had the strength of the 7th Tianqi layer. As long as she didn't encounter anyone stronger than her, she should be fine. Lin Feng frowned. He had the impression that the situation was getting dangerous. "Is someone chasing me?" thought Lin Feng. That place was very dangerous. Luck and strength were the two determining factors. Massacre Palace, show me who wants to kill me. Lin Feng continued moving forwards. Killing was easy now with all the skills and techniques he had. But Lin Feng still felt uncomfortable, as if someone was following him. He released his godly awareness, but didn't notice anything in particular. He soon came across some extremely strong people who were hiding their qi. Lin Feng stopped and said, "Stop hiding and come out." His voice echoed far away, but nobody replied. The atmosphere was eerily silent. Drip, drip, Finally, a sound came to Lin Feng's ears. Wind brushed against his clothes and it was ice cold. As expected, there's someone. Lin Feng's facial expression turned serious. He remained motionless as snowflakes started floating around him. Drip, drip, drip. The sounds were intensifying and seemed to be coming from all around him. Lin Feng started to feel really cold. The energies became even more intense as the battle was about to start. Boom! A terrifying chi surrounded Lin Feng. Shadows appeared all around. Piss off! Lin Feng punched the air, destroying the shadows. Illusion technique. Those shadows weren't real people, they were illusions. Lin Feng released his spirit. His pupils became pitch black and he could clearly see all around him. He looked rather cold and expressionless. More shadows attacked him, but Lin Feng didn't care about them. They were only illusions after all. His eyes were closed, but everything appeared very clearly in his brain. It seemed like nothing could escape his awareness. Slash! A subtle sound spread in the air. The illusions suddenly looked more real. Boom! Lin Feng opened his eyes and glanced around. He saw someone's face. Die! Shouted Lin Feng furiously. Red lights appeared in the darkness. He also released an explosive amount of sword chi. Loud sounds spread all around as the illusions all disappeared, destroyed by Lin Feng's blood sword. The enemy was trying to escape now. Where are you going? Said Lin Feng, amused. He chased the cultivator with the illusions. It was a shadow cultivator again. It was difficult to see them. How annoying. Die! Shouted Lin Feng furiously. He used his human sword fusion and turned into a sword. Boom boom. A hand appeared which contained terrifyingly sharp energies and moved towards Lin Feng at incredible speed. What's going on? Thought Lin Feng. He was still using his human sword fusion as he turned around and moved up. He now started using his blood strength. Slash, slash. Lights appeared in front of him. The enemy was attacking him again. Arg! Lin Feng was furious. He started running towards those lights. Lin Feng knew perfectly well what was going on. There wasn't just one person attacking him this time. Die! A golden hand appeared behind Lin Feng and hit him. It felt as if his organs were going to explode. 3 people. 3 people were hunting him. Buddha demon body, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He didn't use his empty space bestial illusion technique. Instead, he turned into a Buddha demon. Dazzling golden lights and pale dark lights twinkled all around his body. 1,000 Buddha punches, 10,000 demon fists, shouted Lin Feng furiously. Millions of hands appeared all around him, both Buddha and demonic. They moved in all directions around him. Boom boom boom. Energies rolled in the air. 2 silhouettes moved backward and hid in the dark again. It was as if they had never appeared. Lin Feng glanced around. He was furious. Surprisingly, several people had attacked him at once. It seems like some people join hands here too, thought Lin Feng. He had just encountered a killer squad. Who are you? Asked Lin Feng coldly. The atmosphere was calm for a few seconds and then a voice echoed back to Lin Feng. Hunters of Darkness. Hunters of Darkness, repeated Lin Feng. He then said coldly, I killed a hunter of darkness already. We're all hunters of darkness, said someone else. Voices came from all around. The hunters of darkness consisted of a group of people. Drip, drip, more people came. They were all hiding in the dark so Lin Feng couldn't see them. In the distance, there was someone standing proudly on a gigantic tree. That person looked like an overlord. Nobody dared attack him. It was Xian Yuan. The hunters of darkness are going to kill you and I don't need to do anything to stop them, thought Xian Yuan. His eyes were filled with murder. He knew that place already for it was his second time visiting there. He also knew the hunters of darkness. In Ba Huang province, there was someone called the Imperial Hunter who had terrifying hunting techniques nobody dared offend him. His disciples were all of the same class, assassins. Chapter 1043. Strange young man Xian Yuan knew everything there was to know in Ba Huang province. He also knew the hunters of darkness personally. On the other hand, Lin Feng didn't know much about Ba Huang province. Lin Feng could only guess what was going on using his eyes and intelligence. Those people were very dangerous, let alone they had joined hands to fight him. Those assassins used elite hunting skills, illusions, shadows, assassin's techniques. Lin Feng heard even more people and said, "If you want to attack me, then attack me together. There's no need to hide." However, nobody paid attention to what he said. They continued hiding in the dark. Suddenly, a strong wind started blowing around Lin Feng. He was surrounded by an illusion again. It was similar to the illusion from before where it seemed like several shadows were attacking him again. "So you want to fight again?" said Lin Feng. Snowflakes floated around him this time. At the same time, he condensed fire energies. A sun pattern appeared on Lin Feng's body. It was pure sun chi and it was scorching hot. Then, he released his fire energies and all the shadows disappeared instantly. Slash! A sharp energy moved towards Lin Feng. Boom! Lin Feng released sealing energies. "Seal!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. He released sealing strength with his left hand and the world around him seemingly stopped. "Die!" shouted someone furiously. The voice came from behind him. Lin Feng condensed a black fire in his right hand which emitted crackling sounds. Then Lin Feng released his attack. "Die!" shouted Lin Feng. Someone gave a horrible shriek. Lin Feng saw someone burning alive. Slash, slash. Lin Feng continued attacking using his level 7 sword intent. It was raining fire and sword intent, kind of like fireworks. "I have no time to play with you guys." Lin Feng then released wind intent and wrapped himself up in it. He turned into a hurricane and flew far away. Drip, drip, drip. More sounds were heard. Some people were following Lin Feng. There were other people around, but they couldn't afford being too noisy because the Hunters of Darkness were there too. Some people thought that the Hunters of Darkness had killed someone. With the strength of the 4th Tianqi layer, it was difficult to escape from them. Lin Feng moved with incredible speed, but he still heard people behind. Slash! A sword light streaked across the sky. Bzz! The sword energies appeared in front of Lin Feng. Empty space bestial illusion technique. Energies quickly surrounded Lin Feng. His empty space bestial illusion was shaking under the pressure of those sword energies. Lin Feng wasn't feeling comfortable. Things were quite dangerous for him now. That sword could kill him easily for it was an empty space sword technique. Boom! Lin Feng continued running. He wanted to escape but it seemed difficult. Lin Feng took out a talisman and broke it. In a flash, he started moving even faster. He could still hear people chasing him, but this time they couldn't catch up with him. Kaboom! At that moment, an incredible and explosive energy fell from the sky towards Lin Feng. He felt oppressed. Empty space bestial illusion technique. Lin Feng frowned and used his empty space bestial illusion technique again. In such a short time, he had used it twice. It was becoming difficult to manage. Bzz! A terrifying strength bombarded Lin Feng's illusion. His empty space bestial illusion seemed like it was going to break this time. He could even sense the oppressive energies from inside the illusion. It was terrifying. Lin Feng continued moving as fast as he could and saw someone. It was a proud-looking young man. He was extremely muscular and was holding a gigantic wooden stick. It was the young man who had attacked Lin Feng a moment before. He had hit Lin Feng's illusion with his wooden stick. Not bad. You understand illusions, but even with the talisman you used, you're still too slow and too weak, said a loud voice. That voice sounded like thunder and painfully pierced through Lin Feng's eardrums. Escaping means I'm weak? So, what would you do if a group of Hunters of Darkness attacked you at the same time? Said Lin Feng in an ice-cold way. Hunters of Darkness? The young man was surprised and said, "You're the one they chased." No wonder. Since we both like illusion spells, I'll restrain my cultivation level and attack you. If you can withstand a single attack, I'll let you off. You'll let me off? That young man was strange. Lin Feng was so fast, did he need his opponent to let him off? Don't think that you're faster than me. I can easily catch up with you. So, do you think you can withstand a single one of my attacks? Said the young man. He didn't sound arrogant like Xian Yuan though. Alright, if you give me such an opportunity, I'll take it, said Lin Feng coldly. His illusion disappeared and he stared down his enemy. I'm using the strength of the 4th Tianqi layer now. I'll punch you and we'll see what you can do, said the young man. He then threw himself at Lin Feng without talking anymore. Boom boom. Lin Feng sensed the oppressive energies. His enemy had an incredibly powerful physical strength. Even with a restricted cultivation level, he's extremely strong. Lin Feng was amazed. That guy also condensed force into his attacks. Kaboom! Crackling sounds spread in the air as Lin Feng's arm felt like it was going to break off. He was propelled backwards and landed 1,000 meters behind. He propelled me backwards. That person was also propelled backwards, but only a few steps though. He scratched his head, annoyed. Lin Feng was speechless. That young man had propelled Lin Feng 1,000 meters and he had only been pushed back a few steps. Why was he annoyed? Chapter 1044. Crazier than Xian Yuan. The young man sighed and smiled. How awesome! Let's do it again. Then he jumped again and arrived in front of Lin Feng. Arg! He groaned like an animal and punched the air. His hair was fluttering in the wind, his veins were popping out, his clothes were suddenly torn apart. Bzz! Lin Feng condensed all his strength into his fist, including demonic strength, sword and fire energies, and then moved forwards. Boom boom! A terrifying hurricane appeared and the sky was roaring. Boom boom boom! Lin Feng's energies seemed like they were going to explode. But that guy was incredibly strong. Alright, move away, shouted Lin Feng furiously. Not only didn't he move back, he continued to move forwards. His force was rolling in waves. Boom, arg! The young man groaned and punched the air in Lin Feng's direction again. The attack of Lin Feng's enemy looked like his 9 heavy waves, the attack he used back when he had just started practicing cultivation. However, this attack was a few thousand times more powerful. It could destroy mountains. Boom boom boom. The atmosphere seemed like it was going to collapse. The hurricane was as sharp as 1,000 blades. Ha! You didn't fall back, let's try again. Boom boom boom. He continued punching the air in Lin Feng's direction. Lin Feng felt like he was going to suffocate under that stress. He circulated his blood strength throughout his body and condensed it into his fist. Lin Feng took another step forwards. Rumbling sounds spread in the air as a beam of light appeared and crashed into the ground and created a crater. Dust splashed everywhere. Their fists were still locked together. How incredible, said the young man, laughing frantically. His laugh echoed far in the distance. He moved back and his strength dispersed. Lin Feng did the same as his opponent. They both moved back and looked at each other, surprised. He is much stronger than Xian Yuan and probably didn't use all his strength. I wonder if he has broken through to the 7th Tianqi layer. If he has, then he is infinitely stronger than Xian Yuan, thought Lin Feng, sighing. Another beast. In Ba Huang province, there were probably many strong cultivators and geniuses. Xian Yuan was a genius in the northern part of Ba Huang province, but in other parts, there were probably other such geniuses. I haven't had such a fun in battle in a long time. I think you must be really strong. What's your name? Asked the young man, smiling. He looked like an ordinary person now, that was rare at such high cultivation levels. Lin Feng, and you? Lin Feng saw that his interlocutor wasn't a bad person. He seemed like someone who enjoyed life. He had a nice and honest smile. He could have killed Lin Feng, but didn't. My name is Yuan Fei, said the young man, smiling before adding, it's rare to meet such courageous and strong people. Let's stick together. What do you think? Stick together? Lin Feng was surprised. If he stayed with him, he would be safe, but he had to hurry and leave that place. Don't worry. You must be here for an exam to become an imperial cultivation disciple. I won't slow you down. However, if we meet some hunters of darkness, I'll help crush those bastards. I don't like them very much. Their teacher is a piece of dog shit that I can't stand either, said Yuan Fei. Lin Feng was speechless. He was calling an emperor a piece of dog shit? Even Xian Yuan didn't dare talk that way about emperors. Let's go Lin Feng, let's go and get those bastards, said Yuan Fei. His voice was really loud. It seemed like he really wanted to find some hunters of darkness. Lin Feng smiled. He was perplexed. It seemed like he had just made friends with a cultivation monster. They walked together. After a short while, some sounds were heard and the atmosphere was getting cold. Lin Feng looked nervous. It was the same sensation as before, there were assassins all around him. "You're here guys, come out," said Yuan Fei loudly. Everybody remained silent and then, "Yuan Fei," someone said coldly. "Yuan Fei must be as famous as Xian Yuan," thought Lin Feng. Even that person recognized him. He sounded annoyed, but scared at the same time. "Why call my name? Just come out or I'll attack," said Yuan Fei. "Yuan Fei, this has nothing to do with you. Don't think we won't kill you," said the other one coldly. Yuan Fei took a deep breath and said to Lin Feng, "Lin Feng, move backward and cover your ears." Lin Feng was surprised, but nodded and moved back of 1,000 meters. Yuan Fei gazed into the distance and could only see darkness. He opened his mouth as widely as he could. Roar, roar. He was roaring like a monster and his voice was emitting rumbling sounds in every direction. Boom, 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 boom. Everything broke around him. Even trees turned to ashes. His voice was terrifying. Lin Feng even started trembling. He was propelled backwards and blood splashed out of his mouth. Fuck! Lin Feng's visceral organs seemed like they were going to break. He was propelled backwards and crashed into a tree which exploded. What a shout! Yuan Fei then ran forwards like a rocket. Boom, boom, boom. 3 explosions sounded. It was a sonic boom. After forcing them out, he attacked them immediately. Lin Feng was feeling somewhat dizzy and still spitting out blood. He circulated qi in his body. That guy was a beast. Lin Feng now believed everything Yuan Fei had told him. If he had wanted to kill him, it would have only been too easy. Bzz. Yuan Fei came back to Lin Feng and saw that he was injured. He scratched his head and said, feeling embarrassed, "I told you to get back and cover your ears." Lin Feng looked at him and said, "How could I know that you're that strong?" Yuan Fei laughed and said, "I didn't use my full strength." Cough couch. Lin Feng coughed up some blood again. He hadn't used his full strength? What did it look like when he did? Lin Feng might have died. "You're all right?" asked Yuan Fei. "No problem. Just a bleeding internally, nothing more," said Lin Feng sighing. Yuan Fei looked embarrassed and smiled. Chapter 1045. Emperor's grandson Yuan Fei took Lin Feng's hand to help him stand up. He smiled and said, "I'll help you now, we're buddies. If they dare come at you again, I'll crush them one by one." If Yuan Fei had bragged like that before, Lin Feng wouldn't have liked him. Of course, he now knew how strong Yuan Fei was, so that was understandable. People like Yuan Fei could do whatever they wanted. Besides, he was so nice. With his strength of the 7th Tianqi layer, Yuan Fei could easily kill 70 people in the massacre palace. "Yuan Fei, why do you come here? You're already so strong. You can easily kill cultivators of the 8th and 9th Tianqi layer," said Lin Feng. Why did Yuan Fei need to come to that place? "Lin Feng, you're wrong. We don't come to the Huangxi underground to practice cultivation and become stronger. The Huangxi was a battlefield in the antiquity. There are many corpses buried here. They were all incredibly strong cultivators. There are thus many treasures to take, hidden treasures. There are caves, there's desolate qi, many good things. Imagine if you could find some incredible ancient treasures," said Yuan Fei. Lin Feng nodded. It was a bit like his previous life. There were treasures in the sea, but in this case, the Huangxi used to be a battlefield. Apart from treasures, Ba Huang province also has people who are much, much stronger than me, said Yuan Fei. Besides, today there is someone exceptionally strong here. Oh. Lin Feng nodded. If Yuan Fei said that, that person was probably a monster as well. Of course, he wasn't talking about Xian Yuan. Lin Feng and Yuan Fei chatted as some people passed, but they left immediately when they heard Yuan Fei. He didn't care about them. The Hunters of Darkness were dangerous to Lin Feng, but not for Yuan Fei. They could find themselves more suitable victims. Lin Feng, I'll bring you to a cave where we might find some treasures, said Yuan Fei smiling. All right. Lin Feng nodded. He wanted to find some treasures too. You're not dead. When the two were about to leave, someone said that coldly and laughed evilly. Someone appeared above them and looked at Lin Feng with murder in his eyes. Someone helped you, but next time I won't give you another chance, said Xian Yuan. When we were at the same level, I easily defeated you. I even humiliated you. You can't get your revenge, you'll always be a disgrace, said Lin Feng coldly. You're famous only because of your family. Xian Yuan had lost against Lin Feng and wanted to kill him, but he kept failing. It hurt him inside. He had to find an opportunity to fight Lin Feng again and kill him. Lin Feng was lucky to have met someone like Yuan Fei. You have a glib tongue, but sometime today you'll die, said Xian Yuan. Yuan Fei looked at him and said, Who the hell are you? Piss off. Xian Yuan glanced at Yuan Fei. Surprisingly, someone dared to tell him to piss off. In Ba Huang, Xian Yuan had fought against a myriad of people and nobody at the same level, apart from Lin Feng, had defeated him. You want to die, said Xian Yuan. In a flash, he punched the air in Yuan Fei's direction. Fuck off, shouted Yuan Fei furiously. He also punched the air in Xian Yuan's direction. Their fists collided. Lin Feng was propelled backwards by the intensity of the energies. Xian Yuan was propelled backwards too, however, Yuan Fei didn't move at all. Who are you? Asked Xian Yuan. Surprisingly, there was someone that strong in there. I'm your daddy, said Yuan Fei while jumping forwards. Even though he seemed stupid sometimes, he was extremely strong and quick. Yuan Fei was as fast as lightning. Yuan Fei jumped towards Xian Yuan, condensing strength. His energies were strange. Xian Yuan pulled a long face and jumped up while condensing energies too. The atmosphere became distorted. Piss off. Arg. Boom boom boom. Yuan Fei looked like a bodybuilder. He punched Xian Yuan and propelled him far away. He crashed onto a tree which exploded and then turned to ashes. Boom! Xian Yuan released an incredible qi and condensed his blood strength. He was furious. Xian Yuan had been sent flying twice now. The second time, he flew away and crashed into a tree. Yuan Fei was a lot stronger than Lin Feng. You want to die? Xian Yuan stared at Yuan Fei while condensing his blood strength. He was furious. Die! Shouted Yuan Fei furiously. Xian Yuan's arms were emitting crackling sounds under that pressure. Two words appeared in the air, Xian Yuan. Yuan Fei raised his wooden stick, inhaled and ran forwards. He was running with his wooden stick, as if he had been using it to cast a spell. Dazzling lights appeared and loud sounds invaded the atmosphere. Xian Yuan, oppression! Shouted Xian Yuan furiously. He released the two words which were now red and they moved towards Yuan Fei. Piss off! Yuan Fei's wooden stick became gigantic. It seemed like he could destroy the earth and sky with it. Boom boom! The words, Xian Yuan, cracked and disappeared. The wooden stick continued moving towards Xian Yuan. Xian Yuan's face turned deathly pale. His blood strength dashed to the skies and emitted rumbling sounds. You're Yuan Fei! Shouted Xian Yuan furiously. Finally, Xian Yuan's energies dispersed and he moved backward. He didn't want to continue fighting. Yuan Fei was famous. Lin Feng was surprised too. He walked to Yuan Fei and said, He's scared of you. Xian Yuan, a kid with an imperial background, next time, I'll shove my wooden stick up your throat, said Yuan Fei. Lin Feng was speechless. Xian Yuan had imperial blood, but Yuan Fei could easily defeat him. Yuan Fei scratched his head and said, I fall from an emperor, I'm not some shitty kid with imperial origins. Chapter 1046, The Cave, I fall from an emperor, I'm not some shitty kid with imperial origins. Lin Feng was astonished and speechless. No wonder Yuan Fei was that terrifying. His wooden stick was incredible too. Xian Yuan very strong, but he stood no chance at all against Yuan Fei. Lin Feng could only imagine how strong Xian Yuan was. When they were at the same level, he defeated him. The battle hadn't been easy though. Xian Yuan was far from being as strong as Yuan Fei. "Do you have an emperor in your family?" asked Lin Feng in a low voice. "My grandfather is an emperor," said Yuan Fei smiling. Lin Feng understood. No wonder he was so strong and dared attack Xian Yuan with his wooden stick. He was an emperor's grandson. He didn't fear anyone. Besides, he actually insulted people with imperial blood. His grandfather probably wasn't an ordinary emperor. "It doesn't mean anything though. My grandfather gave me some tips, techniques and skills, but all in all, I have to rely on myself. Don't think that he gave me everything. If my grandfather disappeared, many people would try and attack me," said Yuan Fei sighing. He wanted to become stronger. Lin Feng liked those kinds of people, the humble type. Xian Yuan was different from most cultivators. Real cultivators rely on their own talents. Only those who are strong enough can remain proud, whispered Lin Feng. Yuan Fei was incredibly strong. After hearing Yuan Fei's name, Xian Yuan had left. That was the difference between strong and weak people. "Hee, you're a smart guy, Lin Feng. You don't need to act modest either. You'll become extremely strong someday. You just need to modify your blood a bit more too. But for now, you can already defeat most people at the same level as you," said Yuan Fei smiling. Yuan Fei knew Lin Feng had modified his blood. Otherwise, why would he tell him that he had to modify his blood a bit more? "Don't be surprised. I can sense dragon blood strength, even if I don't know where you got it from," said Yuan Fei. Lin Feng was very surprised. Yuan Fei was extremely clever. "How did he do that?" "Let's go to the cave and see if we can find treasures now," said Yuan Fei, changing the topic. They walked together. Lin Feng understood that Yuan Fei came here to find treasures. He wasn't scared because he had nothing to fear with his strength. He could walk in the open without being attacked. "The desolate qi here is a bit thicker. There might be a cave," said Yuan Fei as he stopped. He raised his head, looking around. Lin Feng stopped a bit further ahead and said, "Come here, look." Yuan Fei walked over to Lin Feng and raised his head. Desolate qi was coming from over there and it was very thick. He looked at Lin Feng and smiled. "You're good at finding caves. Seems like it was our destiny to meet and be friends." Yuan Fei then punched the space there and broke a hole. A very dense, desolate qi flowed out. "It's too small and there's nothing inside," said Yuan Fei, disappointed after a few seconds. He knew there were many caves there. Desolate qi did nothing to them. Lin Feng could absorb desolate qi. He could even swim in the Huang Sea, so he didn't fear that qi. Yuan Fei didn't mind it either. For many people, finding caves wasn't that easy. They had to be careful when the desolate qi gushed out. "Lin Feng, let's find another one." Lin Feng and Yuan Fei left. There was nobody around and nobody wanted to get any closer to that desolate qi. Lin Feng liked desolate qi because he could absorb it. Very quickly, Lin Feng and Yuan Fei found many caves. Yuan Fei kept breaking the entrances, but they found nothing each time. "The desolate qi here is too weak. It must be a small cave again," said Yuan Fei, raising his head. No desolate qi came out this time. He saw another cave and this time, his facial expression changed. That cave seemed different. "Break!" shouted Yuan Fei while punching the space. Some desolate qi came out and it was very thick. "Break, break!" shouted Yuan Fei furiously. Then, suddenly, a terrifying desolate qi gushed out. It was black and it didn't stop flowing. The atmosphere was becoming very distorted. "The bottom of the sea." Yuan Fei smiled and said, "It seems like we were wrong. It isn't the desolate qi that isn't strong enough, it's just that it's quite deep. We have to dig. Let's find a big one." The desolate qi was becoming even more intense. Black mud filled with desolate qi kept gushing out. Precious treasures were buried deep in the ground of the Huang Sea. Many people sensed the desolate qi and moved even farther away. However, some people also ran over. Xian Yuan was one of those people. When Xian Yuan saw Yuan Fei breaking pieces of stones, he turned around to run. However, greedy expression appeared on other people's faces. They were all extremely strong. Only very strong cultivators had no problems facing the desolate qi. "Lin Feng," said someone. It was Chiu Yuxian. She was running towards Lin Feng. "Come over here," said Lin Feng. In the distance, some sword energies appeared. It was a young man with 3 ancient swords. His chi was incredible. "He's here too," whispered Yuan Fei. He hadn't thought that guy would come too. That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.